all socials because people might not know we're live. That's why
Right.
I posted it on
Yeah.
X
They know
Threads.
we are on next because we're going live on
Okay,
X.
but
I'm
do
about
it
to,
from all the pages.
yeah, I'm about to throw it on IG.
Yeah.
But hey, guys, welcome to the Superhero Cuts show. It's your boy Stevie Hayes, joined by Jerry, aka Comic Cuts. Brother, how are you doing today? What's going on?
I'm great, bro. How are you?
Good, man. I'm just happy to just be here on the show, bro. Honestly, man. You and I were just talking about how, whenever we get off schedule, it just feels odd. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're here. I have a lot to talk about. You have a lot to talk about. We've been texting all week because absolute Batman, Green Lantern announcements, Nightwing and Robin origin stories, Doctor Doom news. I mean, it's just so much crap going on. So I'm really excited to talk to you about this today, and I know you're excited to talk about this. So just to let you guys know, we changed our streaming schedule. So we will be streaming the podcast on Mondays, and that is now official. We just seen how a lot of you guys like the Monday streams more. Maybe it's just because it's the first day of the week, and we're just bringing you a bunch of news. Maybe that's what you guys like. So Monday streams will be our new thing, and but next week we are doing something special. We are doing a Monday stream. We will also be on Spectrum Cuts next week. We will be on Spectrum Cuts next Tuesday, and then next Thursday we have a special guest coming on our show. So on the Superhero Cuts podcast. So we will be doubling up next week. So
Yeah.
we are just pretty excited about this.
And stay tuned to because we're not going to reveal who the guest is until we go live with him. Same time a week from today, Thursday, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He is a pretty big TikToker. You may know him. You may be a fan of him. We saw a video of his, loved his personality, and we got in touch with him, and he wants to come on the show. So we're excited about it. Excited to bring you, someone else's perspective to the show. And we think, we like his personality. We think you're going to like it too.
Exactly. And always know, like, we would never have someone on the show that we don't respect from a knowledgeable standpoint. Everyone that we bring on the show is always, coming from Slav and all the people that we have had on, they're all credible people who put out great content, people that we, that we like personally. So
Yeah,
this
we like
this
and we
guy's
like.
solid.
Yeah,
Yes, this guy's
solid
solid.
guy, cool person to talk to, and
He's a comic nerd too, man, which makes
he's a
even
big
better.
comic guy. He knows his stuff, and he's not afraid to say his opinions when he knows people might not like them, which I love. I love that.
1,000%, 1,000%. So yeah, this is a pretty awesome. But let's get right into this episode because we have a lot to discuss. I want to get right into because people are already commenting, so we got to get into the Green Lantern thing. So if you guys don't know, the Green Lantern castings is confirmed, and about freaking time. There have been so many rumors that have been going around. Jerry and I, as we always promise, right? Whenever it comes to movie castings, we cover these things closely and we take them very seriously. So it is finally confirmed that Aaron Pierre is going to play John Stewart and that Kyle Chandler will play Hal Jordan. And to make this even cooler, they even screen tested a lot of times. And from what was said, the chemistry that they have is something that is very special. So Jerry, how do you feel about the Aaron Pierre casting, and how do you also feel about Kyle? How about James Gunn finally announcing that Kyle is going to be Hal, and just everything about that?
I think first of all, I don't really know Aaron Pierre. I know he was someone that people were mentioning his name a lot around the Jon Stewart casting. I think he looks picture perfect for the role. I mean, the guy looks like straight out of the comic books, even though there are some haters making some ridiculous comments that we are going to get into. I think he looks like straight out of the comics. The other thing here is I don't really know the actor well. I don't think I've seen him in anything. I think he's got a movie on Netflix that people really like, Ridge something. I'm going to be watching that because I want to get familiar with him. But I will say it does seem like most people think this guy has the talent for the role. which to me is a good sign. Most of the people that I respect and that seem to know the actor are happy with the casting. And that's kind of similar in a way with how I feel about Kyle Chandler. I just can't get the fun coupons out of my head. I don't really know Kyle Chandler from that and Zero
I knew
Dark
you were going
30.
to say that.
But a lot of the same people, I do respect their opinions, are happy with Kyle Chandler. I think Aaron Pierre is the bigger casting of the two because obviously Jon Stewart is going to be the main Lantern. And I think there's a lot of comments from both sides of the political aisles that are messed up on it. I think that I think that people who are complaining that Jon Stewart is the main Lantern because Hal is the bigger character is ridiculous. And I'm a Green Lantern guy. Like, I think a lot of that comes from a really ugly place. And I also think that a lot on the other side of the aisle who are like, oh, he's not the right black. Like, I think that's a really ugly thing too. So I think it's really unfair. This guy just got like the role of a lifetime, and he's dealing with racism coming from both sides. I think it's really disgusting. And if that's you and you're like upset about what I just said, I would take a step back and think about why you're upset about this, because I don't think you have a good reason to be. I think it's really sad that this actor has to deal with what's going on right now, and I think everyone should be excited for him. Obviously, like I said, I don't know his acting. I just haven't happened to have seen him in anything, but everyone who has says he's a very talented actor. So I think he's going to do justice in the role. Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for the show.
Yeah, so Aaron Pierre, I first found out about him through Rebel Ridge, but even before that project, because my wife's and all that cop stuff, so I have to endure that at times. TV, she's into all that detective stuff. But he was already making rounds on like TikTok and stuff. It was mostly girls just sipping over him, just being honest, because he's a husky dude, and so you know how that goes. So I am personally, bro, I am very excited for this casting. As I said, he's been making rounds, and his popularity has really taken a rise after this Netflix project that he's done. So that makes me also happy. And I just love how James Gunn's strategy is like, I'm going to snag actors who aren't completely hot yet, but they're growing. And this is in the same lane as casting, David Cornsweet and a Rachel Barazin. Now, I would say that this guy is more popular than them, but I just really like the idea of James Gunn leading into getting actors that aren't as experienced, and I also like casting Kyle Chandler because you and I both know how. It's kind of how you and me are, right? Like, you've been in this world longer than me, so I look up to you for a lot of things, like big bro, younger bro, and I kind of see that same dynamic going on with Kyle and like Aaron, because Kyle Chandler is a polished actor. He really gives that old school, that old school actor vibe, versus where Aaron, he's probably still trying to find his place, in all this. And I think that having someone like Kyle Chandler, that chemistry is going to be something special, and I hope that we get to see that same thing in films. And I am disgusted. I am disgusted about the whole entire racial stuff that is going on, because no one said this about Halle Berry when she was casted as Storm, because Storm is an African character, and Halle Berry is African American. She is not African, and no one said Halle Berry isn't black enough, right? Chadwick Boseman, African American. He's not African. No one said that he's not, African. Michael B. Jordan. Bro, we could go on and on with so many castings. We could literally go on and on about all of these things. You guys said the same thing about Robert Pattinson. When Robert Pattinson was first casted, you guys trashed the man. And all he did was a screen test, and the suit wasn't even finished. One of the things in fandom that really annoys me is how we love to jump the gun on things when we have yet to see them move in live action and see how they talk and see how they walk. Look, like, I understand, like, we can keep like, opinions are cool, but saying that someone's not black enough to play a role is crazy when the dude is African American. Now, I would understand if they casted Jon Stewart as like a white dude. Like, okay, like that's wild. But I mean, to say he's not black enough, that is racist, bro. And I feel I'm upset more for Aaron Pierre because as you said earlier, you know, this is his biggest role that he's had in his whole career. There are decades of character development based on this guy named Jon Stewart. And he's probably excited, bro. The fact that he is low-key set up for the next decade on project. I mean, he has a job for the next 10 to 12 years, you know? And so it's Aaron Pierre, I hope that you're mentally good, bro. And I hope that you didn't let, you know, this BS affect you of what people are saying. And, you know, shut them up with your work. I mean, because we think you're going to do a great job. Shut out all the haters and do what you do, bro.
Yeah. And just know, like, normal people are happy about this. Normal people are excited. And I just think that there are, like, it's just we live in such a politicized world where both sides of the aisle. And obviously, and if you've been watching the show, you could probably tell I lean one direction, but I'm a normal person, okay? I have political views. I don't discuss my political views on the show because it's not a political show. But I will say, I think we live in a very politicized world where, unfortunately, there are people that every day they wake up in the morning, they take a stick, they put it up their butt, and they look for things to get offended by. And I hope that Aaron Pierre is celebrating this with his family. You know, James Gunn said that screen tests were what won him over. I think he said it on a comment and responding to someone. So if the guy won over James Gunn on screen tests, I mean, like, that's the biggest stamp of approval you could get. And for someone to complain, oh, he's not black enough, it's like ridiculous. And to the other side of the coin, you know, to the people who are complaining that Hal Jordan isn't the main Green Lantern. And I saw someone try to make the argument that, like, oh, well, Hal has a better personality than John. Like, that's ridiculous. And, like, I'm probably the biggest Green Lantern fan on the internet. Like, that is a ridiculous claim. And I think you're full of crap. I don't think you know Green Lantern to make a statement like that. John he's got a great personality. He's a leader. And if you really did know your stuff and you read comics, you know a lot of the best Justice League runs are Jon Stewart Green Lantern and not Hal Jordan. And I love Hal too. Don't get me wrong. But, like, you know, it's ridiculous. And, you know, I think that, you know, rightfully so, they probably wanted to have, you know, black superheroes on the team of the Justice League that they're going to form. And, like, everyone else is white except for Jon Stewart and Mr. Terrific. So, like, what, they were going to have one black guy, Mr. Terrific? So I think they, you know, it was a good choice. And they have a lot of great comic stories that they could lean on. I'm sure they're going to, you know, do the MCU route, which I got to come up with a term for this because it's like the Infinity War situation where they took, it was obviously based on the comics, but they did it without Adam Warlock. So they changed a lot of things up. And now we're hearing that the same kind of thing might be done with, why am I blanking on the best comic of all time? Secret Wars. So that, you know, they're saying, and I'm sure that's on the docket with Steve, but the point is, Jon Stewart's a great character. And if you are upset that Hal Jordan isn't the main Green Lantern, like, I would say 9 out of 10 times that person probably is upset for a really ugly reason. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I would also encourage that person, watch the Justice League animated show. Jon Stewart is a freaking savage on that show, bro. I mean, and that's the inspiration that James Gunn is drawing behind with using Jon Stewart as the main Green. I mean, him and Hawkgirl's relationship is something that is, like, indebted in a lot of, you know, DC fans that isn't talked about enough. You know, because Hawkman pops up and like, what is going on? Like, it gets wonky. It gets cool, man. So yeah, that is why. But this is what you have talked about, and this is the dark side of what fan casting does, because fan casting gets out of hand when you have in your mind what you think this casting is, and when it's not what you want, you think it's bad because it's not what you wanted. There's a difference between what you want and what's good. Like, is Aaron Pierre the guy I wanted to play GL? He was not my first pick. It was not my first. I mean, you and I talked about, John David or Dan Snyder or somebody like that. But that doesn't mean that he's a bad actor. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that I hate it, Same with Kyle. Kyle was not my first option, bro, at all. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that is bad. So, you like, there has to be a level of, taking your bias out of it.
The other thing I hate about fan castings is a lot of the best castings are actors that are under the radar or lesser known, especially in comic book movies. And I think if social media was where it is today, where it's like a normal thing that everyone's on it and everyone's on all the platforms, if that were the case and we were all on social media in like 2006, 2007, when they were casting the MCU, I think it may have had, number one, a negative effect on Feige's decisions because most of the people online just have dumb opinions. Hey, don't kill the messenger. And, I just think that a lot of, like, no one would have said Chris Evans for Captain
Bro, he would have got killed. He would have got killed, bro.
I guarantee it.
For that.
So, like, relax. Maybe don't post your fan casting because it probably sucks anyway, and let James Gunn just do his job. Like I said to someone today, I actually, and I know I love pointing to my own social media posts on the show, but I said to someone, I was like, he was like, long story short, he was like Henry Cavill for DCU Batman, and I was just like, I'm so tired of the insufferable fan castings. And like, aside from that, if you can't see why Henry Cavill isn't a bad casting for Batman, you should never be posting your fan casts, number one. And number two, like, aside from all the obvious reasons, the one that for some reason isn't obvious is that they need to avoid anything that still has baggage with the Snyder fandom. And the Snyder fandom are, you want to talk insufferable? Like, they are the most insufferable people of all time. And they still virtue signal. And a lot of the people, I will say, as ugly as it is to say that Jon Stewart shouldn't be the main Lantern because you like Hal probably for some ugly reason. And I like Hal too. But my point is, like, they're both great characters. And, the guy who said that, I don't think he's the one who's virtue signaling. I think it's the ones who are like, oh, he's not black enough. If you're saying something like that and you also go online and try to lecture other people on like morals and stuff, like, listen, none of us are Gandhi, okay? So no one should be getting online and flexing what they think is a moral compass. Like, if you're going to act like you're better than other people because of your morals are shit anyway.
Yeah. Also, if you champion female Silver Surfer, but you're hating on this, just stop talking.
Yeah.
Because, like, at least I'm consistent. Like, I mean, I didn't agree with Silver Surfer, but I wasn't tripping over it, and I'm not tripping over this. So if like, you got to be consistent with,
well, I'm tripping over the female Silver Surfer, but that's for a different reason.
Yeah, but that's a valid reason. I mean, that's like that is a, because that is, I mean, that low key is like tarnishing the character to an extent.
Yeah. It's not character. It is not character.
It's not Norman Rad. But like, with this, a skin color, like, come on, guys, come on. So yeah, it's just, yeah. So I mean, I don't want to veer too much because I'm going to get genuinely angry. But yeah, it's just ridiculous.
You can't tell other people that, like, skin color shouldn't be a problem and then throw a temper tantrum over someone's skin not being dark enough to play a character. Like, it's so hypocritical.
Yeah, that's like the lowest of low. Like, I mean, that's like, and look, and the reality is, bro, a lot of this is stemmed from the hate for James Gunn. A lot of people don't like Gunn, And also I want to give a shout out to the way that Warner Bros is handling a lot of this, because you know, if they was coming at superhero cuts, we ain't staying quiet, bro. I'll let you know that straight up. If they was coming at us like that,
Stevie would be much better at staying quiet than I would.
Yeah. But when it comes to race, because I was thinking about what you said, and Jerry, like, I didn't read the tweets. I just knew what they were saying, because after you said that, I went and read some tweets. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Like there's just a limit that I have, and that I know you have as well. But
for context, what I said was, you know, Stevie's like, James Gunn has his people, and James Gunn and Zaslav have their people media trained. They know to stay quiet. And I was like, you know, criticizing an actor for their acting capabilities is one thing. And then criticizing a casting because their skin color, that's
crazy, bro.
A whole other situation.
Yeah, bro.
And it's crazy because a lot of the people I see that are all about, oh, this is racist and that's racist. And, you know, I listen, I get it. I obviously, you know, am disgusted by racism. But it's ironic when you see those people being the same people criticizing a black actor for not being black enough, and saying that other people can't talk on it because they're not black. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a human in this world that has a human experience too. And when I see wrong, I know what wrong is. 100%. So, you know, and you know, and that's why I said, like, when you said people just, they really don't like James Gunn, so they try to make everything an issue. That's exactly why I say people wake up in the morning and they put a stick up their butt, because it's like you're waking up looking to find something to be offended with, especially. And by the way, like, you know, I don't think like doing the right thing is always easy. Like, and if that's one thing that's history that's always taught us, like, there are times where a lot of people do something absolutely wrong or horrible, and like it becomes normalized, and then standing up against that becomes a hard thing to do. A lot of people think, you know, they would have, you know, been anti-Nazi or anti-slavery or this or that at the time. And I'm not saying you wouldn't be able to recognize that something was wrong at the time. Maybe you wouldn't have, because a lot of people seem to have trouble doing that today. But I will say that a lot of people have shown that they just don't have the balls to call it out when it happens.
100%. 1,000%, bro. And, you know, Aaron Pierre, we back you on this show. I mean, our backing isn't much, but we do back you. And and just being real, like, we have a small pocket, and one day that will be a larger pocket where, you know, I hope and pray that, you know, that we have a really large scale where we can back actually more. Hey, Aaron, come on the show, man. Come on the show. We promise we won't try to get spoilers out of you. We're not those kind of guys. Just come and shoot the ish, bro. Let's talk. We would love to have you on the show, Aaron. And Aaron, I'll send you a DM. You might not see it, but we love to have you on the show, dog. Great minds think alike, man. Great minds think alike. All right, let's read some chats. Man, Green Lantern casting and dynamic duo. If James Gunn didn't have my full trust before, then he has my full trust now. Hey, man, we love James Gunn. He has our full trust. The only casting, I'm not sure if it is confirmed. Is that one dude really playing Booster Gold?
I don't know. I don't think that's
because I'm not gonna lie. I can't stand him as an actor. He sucks. Like, he's a terrible actor. And I love the freaking Eternals. He was so annoying. I was not a fan of him.
I think he's to his credit, I think he was supposed to be annoying in that movie.
Okay, it's just, but even on Instagram, it's just his personality. It just doesn't mix well with me. So no, I don't know. He just seems annoying.
I'm sorry, he looks nothing like Booster Gold.
Yeah. I don't want him. Let's go.
Which, by the way, I think DC is really kind of rewriting the Booster Gold character. They put out so DC has a whole new initiative, which they do sometimes, and they kind of like bring all their characters and comics to a new starting point. and they like put it under a new banner. And right now it's called All In. And they just put out last week the DC All In special. If you want to read it, you could download the DC Infinite DC Infinite app. The comic is available on the app for free. I don't know if you have to have a paid account to get to access it for free. But it's pretty cool. And basically, the new Justice League, which is a huge roster, but Booster Gold has a pretty big role in the story, and it seems like they're trying to make him more powerful and more of an actual hero rather than a joke. So interesting. And it's interesting timing because we know the Booster Gold DCU show is coming. So I don't know if we're going to get the pre-DC All-In Booster Gold or the new Booster Gold in the DCU show.
Wow, that is cool. That is cool.
I will say it's worth noting when James Gunn did his Gods and Monsters DCU slate announcement, I'm pretty sure he specifically said that Booster Gold is kind of like a joke. So who knows?
Hey, man, I wouldn't be against making him like a powerhouse.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I like Booster Gold. So
he's cool.
Yeah.
Superherocuts, what's your thoughts? Oh, we were talking about that. I mean, Hal is my guy and will always be my Green Lantern, but I don't mind John as the main Lantern. I just don't want Hal to die in the first season of Lantern. That's it.
That's fair, by the way. Especially for people who like knew Hal first. Like I knew Hal first before I really knew John.
Same here.
Yep. So naturally if I had to pick, I might pick Hal, but I'm still super stoked about John Stewart. And if Hal wasn't in it was just John Stewart, I don't think I would be more or less excited for either one of them is what I'm trying to say. But I think it's also similar with like Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Like we've known Peter Parker forever. So I think it's natural that people, might prefer Peter right now, but I do think that's going to change. However, I don't excuse the Miles Morales is not Spider-Man. Like that thing
That's
is
corny.
ridiculous. It's corny. It's also fake. Like he literally is Spider-Man. You just don't accept it because you're a jerk.
Exactly. And even with the Robin, right? Like, I mean, we are starting with Damian, and we are getting Nightwing. And to be honest, I would rather James Gunn use characters that he wants to do versus like, you know what I mean? Just
we don't know that about Nightwing. I don't think they've announced that.
Yeah, there's an animated Nightwing and Robin.
Oh, show. Right. You're right. You're right.
I mean, so I am just, but like, and I just like that James Gunn is like, it seems like he's doing the characters that he wants to. And I like people that do stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying like tarnish the content like Acolyte, but like do the characters you want because you're going to give us your best work when you're working on characters that you love. So I'm hyped to see John Stewart, bro. I think John Stewart is going to be. I think the Green Lantern IP is going to go up after this show, dude. I really do.
And like the one thing that also always drew me to the Green Lanterns, and when I say Green Lanterns, I really do mean Hal and John. Like I never got into Kyle. I never got into Guy Gardner. Obviously I like Kilowog and some of the other ones.
Corny.
But who?
Kyle's so corny, bro. I just can't.
Corny.
Yeah, I just can't. And like Guy is funny, but like he's just comedic, what is it? Comedic relief or whatever it's called.
I hate that word. It's like I don't need relief from my superhero. Okay, I'm not struggling.
Whatever. He's just the comedy bot. That's what I'm gonna say.
But the thing that makes like Hal and John so cool is that they're actual military guys, And I don't think that's like I wish that were more common in superheroes. I think it adds like a real it adds like real respect, honor, but also like tactful experience for a superhero to have. And I just think it makes them so much more badass. And Marines are no joke. So, John Stewart, I think John Stewart's going to be a powerhouse. And like Aaron Pierre, like, I know he's an actor and like all that, but like, bro, he looks like tough and rugged. I like that's like the perfect look.
And he's like 6'5", bro.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's Corn Sweat 6'4". I think Aaron Pierce, he's either 6'3", he's in the range from 6'3" to like 6'5". Like these dudes are tall. So
that is tall.
Yeah, and not to mention in the Rebel Ridge show, he plays a cop. So I mean, and that's where I think James Gunn also liked him too. Like he already knows how to play and they're technically space cops anyway. So and I mean, 2 military guys becoming space cops is just, I mean, I'm sold on that every time. So I'm pretty excited. Let's read some more chats going on. Yeah, agree. I don't know why people are complaining that he's light skinned. If it was T'Challa, it would be a different story. But John, I don't see a problem. Facts. Aaron Pierre's star has been on the rise ever since Rebel Ridge, landing the voice role Mufasa. Oh, I didn't know he was voicing Mufasa.
Oh wow,
that's cool. And in the upcoming movie, and was a great Malcolm X and Henny. He played Malcolm X. Cool. That's what's up. John Stewart has been the more popular Green Lantern with younger generations for years, especially since the JLU. I agree. I 100% agree. But I will say Hal Jordan is the first Green Lantern I saw on screen. But that Justice League series has such a hold on just kids, bro. Like that John Stewart's fire. But isn't the DC? Yes, it is Kendra. I keep thinking it's freaking Shiara. So scrap to what I said about the freaking romance happening. I am upset about that. I ain't gonna lie. I want Shiara, not Kendra. So, anyways, I don't think the DCU League is going to be an exact copy of the Unlimited team. I think there's going to be a slight variation, except example Barry instead of Wally. I don't think Barry's going to be in this league. Yeah,
a lot of people are guessing that
I want Wally.
A lot of people want Wally.
He's faster and better. All right. It's tough picking an actor to play a certain character. Yeah, bro, it is tough, and a lot of fans think that like they know.
Yeah, a lot of fans think they know, and it's easy, and like, oh, duh, like Jensen Ackles should be Batman. It's like, shut up.
Exactly. By the way, he's doing another Soldier Boy thing, so he's definitely not going to be Bats.
Someone put his photo over Solid Snake, the main character from Metal Gear, and it actually looked perfect. But I'm pretty sure they already casted Oscar Isaac, and he spoke about it on the red carpet to something recently, and he was saying they're like trying to figure out the story. So.
Do you know what Amazon has done, which I find funny? And they're so low key, right? Alan Ritchson was in talks for playing Batman, right? Or the rumor was going around that he was asking. All of a sudden,
so happy he's not going to be Batman. I would be so upset if he's Batman.
Yeah. By the way, I love Alan. He's a great acter.
He's a great actor,
but
he's not Batman. And
but it's funny, right? Because he just signed for Jack Reacher season 4, and then with
really going hard on that. That show's amazing,
bro. Jack Reacher is man. Spectrum Cuts, man. Can we cover that? Season 3 comes out 2025, so we can't wait to cover that show. And then with Jensen Ackles, he was also in the rumors for Batman, and then he signs another Soldier Boy project with the boys. So, and then Cavill is doing a Voltron. He's going to be in Voltron apparently. So it's very interesting how they're just doing stuff on the low. It's funny. I think Child Killer or Tom Cruise. No, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise would ruin the movie. And Tom Cruise is my favorite actor of all time.
Yeah.
But no. He's not Tom Cruise cannot play legacy characters. Yeah. He can only play the only characters. He can only play the characters that he makes. Yeah. AKA Top Gun and Ethan Hunt. Or Maverick and Ethan Hunt. Pierre, obviously, hey, Jared, can you read that off, bro? I'm stuttering super hard.
No worries. If Pierre obviously auditioned and tested really well, and his star was already on the rise with Mufasa in the upcoming movie and Rebel Ridge. DC Studios was smart to nab an up-and-comer like that. 100% agree. And Miraculous, I think we've seen you before, but if not, welcome to the show, and thanks for commenting.
Yep. Green Lantern can make him an A-list actor.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like these roles are that's how it was with the MCU for a long time. They're making poor decisions and that's impacting I think the appeal to the roles for them a little bit. But the DCU is new. Industry people have a lot of faith in James Gunn, as they should. And an up and comer like Aaron Pierre, who I haven't even seen him in anything yet, to land a role like this, I'm going to be watching him for a long time. So, and there's millions of fans like me, so who are excited to see him in the show, and in the DCU. So his fame and notoriety dramatically increase from a role like this. So I'm sure, even with all the ridiculous backlash, and to be fair, I think most people are just excited because most people don't have their heads up their ass, but I'm sure he's celebrating today with his family, and as he should be.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal talked. It was this podcast I watched where he low key sneak dissed like Kathleen too, which is kind of hilarious. But the one thing that Pedro said was that he thinks that his career is the blueprint that most actors should follow, which is when he took the Mando role, no one knew that Mando was going to hit. But he said that his management told him that if Mando works, your career will take you places that you will never think of. And it's facts. Because Mando worked, he's in the Gladiator film that's coming out. He's Reed. He's in The Last of Us. I mean, he's been like the guy for a lot of big, franchise,
Yeah.
projects. So, I think that
Yeah,
like
that movie with Nicolas Cage.
yeah, yes. So I think that Pierre and David Cornswell, I really think they're trying to walk in that same, blueprint of like, like if I can sustain this can give me the opportunity because look, I think that a lot of studios are looking at these castings and they're like, okay, let's see if this guy can do it. Let's see if he can build something out of it. And if he does, then let's get him for our stuff. So yeah, I love these kind of castings, and I said to you through a text that Pierre it looks like he's going down the road that Jonathan Majors was going to go. So and by the way, Majors has a movie right that's coming out. I think you talked to me about. So
yeah, I'm going to see it. I don't even care what
same
it
here.
is. I'm going
Same
to
here.
see it. I want to show studios that people are willing to see his movies.
Mm-hmm. I think the DCU JL roster will be a blend of eras. Sure, most of what Gunn is doing is a pre-crisis and modern, or is a blend of I do think it is going to be a blend of eras, and I mean, there's so many characters you can go off of with the freaking JJL. But I will say for this Gods and Monsters timeline,
I think
you need the originals, and that's just kind of where I'm
Which,
at.
by the way, I think it. As much as I love Batman and I want to see the DCU Batman yesterday, like I kind of think it's smart that they're leading with Superman and the Lanterns. I think they should have started with Green Lantern. But I think that they're smart to hold off Batman a bit because obviously Batman's the number one favorite for most people. And they want people to fall in love with the other characters. And I think it's important. I get why they chose Superman to be number one, the first one, because the first premiere movie. It's because Superman hasn't been done right in a movie in a really long time, and they need fans to see a comic accurate Superman. And by doing that, most people will fall in love with Superman because comic accurate Superman is great.
100%. In my opinion, skin color matters depending on the situation. Like I remember rumors of a black Magneto for the MCU that's done, but like this John Stewart situation is not a big deal. And yes, and that's where we are with a lot of race swaps. There are some characters where like race swaps don't matter. Like Nick Fury, no one cares. You know what I'm saying? But like
Nick Fury was kind of accurate because the Ultimates from the early 2000s, which was another Avengers team, they literally drew Nick Fury as if in the comics, as if he was Samuel L. Jackson. And then there was a scene where they were like, who would you want to play you in a movie? And Nick Fury says, I want Samuel L. Jackson to play me. So technically, Nick Fury being Samuel L. Jackson, you could actually make the case that it's the most comic accurate casting of all time.
That is actually hilarious. That's hilarious. But like characters like that, like a race swap, like it's whatever. But when you're talking about characters like Magneto, Black Panther, you can't mess with that. And so I agree with everything you're saying, bro. Hey, Superhero Cuts, you should play Green Lantern, and Jerry, you should play Mole Man.
Mole Man.
It's a joke, by the way.
Thanks, Dragon.
Yeah, right. I'm good. If I was to play a character, bro, I don't even know who I'll play. I would love to be Lex, bro.
Man,
that'd be fun.
I like Mole Man. I don't want to look like Mole Man, but
exactly. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
If you guys had a Green Lantern ring, what would you do? I'll fly around, go to space, and some wars.
Yeah, no, I would fly around. I would end some wars. I would dismantle terrorists to end wars specifically. And yes, that's exactly what I just said. For those who picked up on it, but yeah.
I saw some people saying this, but why didn't Gunn? I saw some people saying this, but why didn't Gunn win for Nathan Fillion as Hal instead of Kyle, since they were going for older Hal? Anyways, in my opinion, I can actually see Nathan. I don't see Nathan as Hal Jordan, bro.
Yeah, not at all.
He's like too goofy.
Kyle Chandler wouldn't have been my first choice, but like I am reassured by people, and I need to rewatch Zero Dark 30. I love that movie, but I don't think I watched it since like a year or two after it came out. Oh, it's so good. But I need to rewatch it because I have a feeling his role in that is probably more Hal Jordan than getting thrown fun coupons at by Leo.
Yeah, exactly. Like I view it as the Top Gun 2 type of thing. Like you have Tom Cruise that's going to bring the old heads to watch it, but then you have Glenn Powell and Miles, where like people our age are going to gravitate to like those people. Like I think that Kyle has a type of look to him, a way that he carries himself, that I think they want him to like play Hal Jordan. Like I really think Hal Jordan's going to be a very like mature mentor, and I think Hal's a great guy to
because Hal Jordan. He might be a good mentor, but he's not a mature personality.
Well, I was saying more in power level, not personality.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm saying
more
that
experience.
Yeah. Exactly. Like because I mean, Hal is also like, if something's going on, he's going to dip. Like he's going to like, you know what I mean? Like he's not. I don't want to say his loyalty is questionable, but like. How like in a lot of the Green Lantern stuff I read, like they're always like, yeah, like Hal's like so and so, you know what I mean? Like Hal's here, Hal's there, like Hal's always on the move, you know what I mean? So
like I like Hal because he also has his like priorities in check. Like there was a scene in the ongoing Green Lantern, and he was upset because, Carol had moved on and she's with a new guy. And he was like, reflecting on it. And he was like, and then he says to himself, enough with the sap, Jordan. Let's go to Oa. Like, he's the man like that. I like that.
Exactly.
The other thing I want to say is I like, the more I think about it, the more I like that they didn't pick Glenn Powell for Hal Jordan. And the reason I like it so much that they didn't is there's a couple reasons. Number one, it was everyone's fan cast, and you could obviously tell I hate fan casts. But Glenn Powell would have 100% sold tickets. And I'm not saying that he would have been the best casting or the worst casting for Hal Jordan. Look I'm talking like Trump, but I do think that we're starting to live in an era where studios don't want to take risk. They are going to do what is a certainty, what they know is going to work in terms of success. And James Gunn is in a unique position where they're allowing him to be creative. They're not putting certainty as much over creativity with him. And Glenn Powell would have sold tickets because women love him. Okay. And it's kind of like similar with like Zendaya. Zendaya sells tickets because guys are obsessed with her, girls are obsessed with her. Everyone's obsessed with her for one reason or another. She sells tickets. So, like, they're talking about putting her in Spider-Man 4, which I think is a stupid move, but they want to sell tickets, so they want to do it. And Glenn Powell, I think, is similar to Zendaya because women all love him for a very different reason than most guys really like him as an actor. And I think that you put him in a movie and you're automatically going to sell tickets because everyone loves him for one reason or another. They didn't do that. They went with Kyle Chandler, who isn't as well known. I'm not saying, I don't know if he's technically a good looking guy to women or not. But I don't hear women talking about Kyle Chandler. I'll tell you that. And, like I like that they just went with what they thought was good for the role. They weren't like, oh, we want this actor because he sells tickets. They're not just chasing a quick buck, in other words.
Yo, we just spent 45 minutes on one topic. Oh my God. All right, let's get to the next topic. This is how you know. Just imagine what's going to happen when these Green Lantern episodes are going to drop. You're going to take the first hour to talk about the episode for real.
Seriously.
So, all right. So, let's get into some other good news about the DCU, man. It is a great time to talk about this stuff. So, there was an animated Nightwing and Robin movie that is in the works. So, James Gunn made a post about this. And basically, it was just a simple post with like just with the DCU logo on it, and it had Nightwing and Robin's name. And this show is obviously going to be on Max. So Jerry, how do you feel about this show happening? And we all know that these shows are going to be connected to the main DCU line. So are there some things that you're looking forward to? Like, I would just love to hear your view on all this.
Yeah, I love it. I love that they are going out of their way to establish these characters. They're very important. And I think that, DC has a leg up on Marvel with these types of characters because DC has, like these sidekick characters that are so beloved. And Marvel doesn't really have that. And they're doing shows with like Agatha, where they have these corny actors like Joe Locke playing Wiccan. And it's like, I'm sorry, but the kid is such a terrible actor. It's, and, you have Nightwing and Robin, and, everyone has their favorite Robin or they love Nightwing. And some people will say that Nightwing comics are better than Batman comics. So I love that they're going out of their way to do the origin. So the fans that, are into superhero, video entertainment, but might not really read comics and don't really know these characters so well, get familiar with them. And I think it's a really good thing. Obviously it's going to be Damian. So yeah, I think it's awesome. I'm really excited about it. And I want to see Nightwing, shine in the DCU. And obviously Damian's my favorite, but I still really like Nightwing too. I would say other than Damian, Nightwing is my second favorite.
I think that this is really important for kids. I really like for me, bro, like, and I told you what got me into superheroes was animated movies and shows. My dad, every Saturday I would wake up and watch these shows. And for the average fan, they don't know who Nightwing is. They don't know who Damian, Wayne is, or they might have just heard the name, just think that it's a random, Robin. But people know Dick Grayson is Robin, and so and I think that it is wise to give fans an introduction into these characters now. So when we see them in Batman, we already fans already have a background of who these characters are, and they have something that they are going to expect. And I just think that this is going to provide proper education for people who don't read comics as well, because some people don't want to read comics. And so having shows like these that give us this type of animation. I think that this is really cool. So
I agree. And by the way, you don't have to like comics. You don't have to want to read comics. That's one of the reasons we like doing the show. So we get to do the homework for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love the animated DC stuff. It's like so many times I read a comic and I'm just like, oh, I hope they do animated. Like I'm rereading The Button right now, which is one of my all-time favorites. And like that would go so hard in an animated, or if we had a feature film, that would be even better. But
yeah,
animated is always more likely that it'll happen. And I really think that this Nightwing and Robin movie is going to be huge. And I think that a lot of fans are going to like obsess, and like they don't really have that with Marvel. Like they don't have like Iron Man doesn't have a sidekick. Captain America doesn't have a sidekick. Like they just don't really do that. And it's not like they're both DC and Marvel are the two titans in the space, but they also do things very differently, even though they're very similar at the same time. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be a good thing. And Miraculous, I saw your comment. Sorry, I just think the kid is I don't know. I saw someone on we'll save it for Agatha because I'm going to go off on a tangent about this kid Joe Locke. And but yeah, listen, Nightwing, Robin, awesome. And I also think that like DC keeps trying to make Nightwing more popular. And I'm curious to see how they're going to try to do that and what they're going to do to try to do that in the DCU, because I know it's coming. I forget exactly what they did or how they said it, but like basically a year or two ago. So if you know the DC comics, there's a ton of crisis events, and there's so their most recent one was called Dark Crisis, and then after that there was the new banner that they did, Dawn of DC. And when they did that, they basically said Nightwing is like the center guy, the most powerful or whatever. I don't think they said the most powerful because obviously he's not, but it was something like that. And even recently, they had Bruce Wayne take up the Nightwing mantle for a little bit. So they're always trying to do creative things to make Nightwing more popular. And I don't say that to mean that he's not popular, but they always want him to be more popular than he already is what I'm saying.
I will love a storyline where like Batman's out of commission and Dick takes the Batman mantle for like a movie or two. That would be super dope to see.
So he did that in the Batman and Robin
Yep.
Grant Morrison, which it's interesting because that's the comic that James Gunn referenced that he's using for the DCU. But I don't think that means that's what he's doing.
Not right now.
Yeah, he's definitely not doing that right now.
Not right now, yeah. Maybe after this Gods and Monsters stuff. I think that would be super cool to see. But yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I'd want to see that, but I would still enjoy it. I just don't like the idea of Batman not being in the center.
Yeah, but that would be fun though for like a movie or two. Like Nightwing's the guy, and then Damian's just going savage. But yeah, as a diehard Robin fan, because obviously you guys know Robin's my favorite hero ever. This is exciting, and as I said, to know that like this is going to be connected to the Batman live action, this just makes this more of a fun experience for me. And also the biggest thing that I think is totally missed with Batman is the relationship building with the Bat family. I think the Bat family is something that society is going to like cherish. I think that the Bat family is going to be TikTok clip worthy. I think that the Bat family is going to be all over Twitter. I think like the Bat family could be like the most popular thing in society. And because that's like 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 different personalities. And I mean, it's just clippable to me. I mean, it's just going to be fun. So, and I really think Damian Wayne is just going to be a hoot. He's going to be a hoot because he doesn't care and he's a savage. And people, and look, as much as people say it, people loved unhinged characters. People love unhinged characters.
And also, I just think like ruthless, rule breaking superhero kid is gonna like. I just think that's gonna perform well with children. Like kids are gonna love him. They're gonna want to be him for Halloween, all that stuff.
Yeah, bro. Like he's told Superman off before, bro. Like he does not care, bro.
Yeah, he really doesn't. He
And
really
Superman's like, yo, like, yo, get your son, dog.
And by the way, like I would argue that the best banter that Damian Wayne has is with Nightwing. So this movie is going to go hard.
I'm excited. Okay, let's see some chats here. I don't think Superman is going to be good, but that might just be me. How can you say that when we haven't seen a trailer?
Yeah, what makes you think that Superman won't be good?
Yeah, we haven't seen a trailer. All that we've seen is one costume shot where his suit was dirty, and then all the other costume shots that we've seen are unedited. So
to be fair, we think it's going to be good, but I know why I think it's going to be good, and I'm not going to say it until I get your answer first because we asked first, and you made the comment, so we get to ask.
I know who should play Miles Morales. It should be you, Super. Yo, bro, do you know what's hilarious, bro? So so for Spider-Man No Way Home, I actually wore I wore a Miles Morales costume to Spider-Man No Way Home, and I got so many like photos with like kids and stuff. So that is hilarious. But I'm not Spanish, so I can't do it. I am not Hispanic. I'm black on black on black on black on black on black on black.
I don't think that like I don't.
I'm too old anyway.
And also the voice actor for him is he Hispanic?
Nah, he black. He a Negro.
Yeah, no one complained.
I'm gonna just do my own thing. Let me stop. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. That line cracks me up every time.
I love that line.
Yeah, no. It's just no, but like there's this dude in New York actually. He dresses up as Miles Morales on TikTok, and he makes like $20,000 a day or whatever. But so there's this new trend where they're like an NPC, and he wears a Miles Morales costume, and he just moves around like NBA says, "Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing," and just says like Miles Morales lines, and he's making like a bank. Like it's hilarious, bro. And he gets like attacked by people and stuff. It's pretty funny. Even though he turned it down, do you think Josh Brolin would have been a good Green Lantern? Josh Brolin is a great actor. Not my first choice, but yeah, he would have been a good Hal Jordan. Just because he's a good actor. I think Nightwing, Robin, and Damian will be the DC version of Miles Morales.
I think he means with the way it'll sell to kids.
Oh, the popularity? Possible.
Yeah, yes and no. I don't know that DC will be able to capture I think what Miles Morales has done is like really special and unique, and I don't think that we're going to see it to that level with Robin, Damian, or actually maybe with Damian. I don't know about Nightwing though, but Damian might have that.
The juice that Miles Morales got right now is on another level.
And the other thing is you have to keep in mind too is that both Nightwing and I know people are going to be upset that I said this about Nightwing, but it's the truth. Both Nightwing and Damian are sidekicks, and Miles Morales is a hero standing on his own. Like, so there's a big difference there.
Yeah, exactly. You have to like. Miles is more equal to like a Wally West Flash than a Damian, in my opinion.
And that's a fair argument to make because a lot of people will say that both Wally and Miles are superior to the OG.
Yeah, or even John Stewart, like that. Like that's where you got to put Miles in because Miles is his own dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oof, the Joe Locke diss. Haha. I like him as an actor. He's good in Heartstopper and on Broadway and Sweeney Todd. Yeah, I saw a clip of him singing Broadway, and he's not a bad singer.
What I don't like about Joe Locke is I don't like that he was like, well, the MCU is for everyone. Like, first of all, it's always been for everyone, number one. And number two, it wasn't until Agatha came out that people started going online and saying, oh, well, this show wasn't for you anyway. Like, you don't get to say the MCU. And it's the same people who say the MCU is for everyone that are also saying Agatha isn't for you. So, you know.
I will say this, though. He's carrying the whole show.
I saw a clip of
no, I'm not even gonna hold you, bro. He's the best actor on the show. I mean, like I'm keeping it real.
I saw a clip of him delivering his lines, and someone even wrote like this that he delivered his lines like a childhood or like a I forget but someone basically said he delivered his lines like a what was it? Oh, I forget, but it was someone's tweet and it had a lot of likes on it. Anyway, yeah, but long story short, people were criticizing his acting. Like someone was like, "Oh, he's the best actor," and then people were criticizing his acting, and it was getting a lot of likes. And I liked what the other guy said about his acting. I didn't think his lines, like when the way he delivered his lines, it sounded like an actor that isn't like a real actor. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but you also have to put the scenes in context because as they're going on the road, they're hitting different like sceneries and people's like deliveries are changing, and some of it is like supposed to be cringe. And I'm not trying to defend them, but like people got to give a fair critique. Like I don't like what Bull said. Like I think he corny in general, but like
Who said?
No, I'm saying like I don't like what Bull said, aka Joe Locke. I think what he said is corny, but as in the context of the show and what it is, the dude hasn't done a bad job. I would be honest. The disappointment for me is Aubrey, man. Aubrey Plaza is terrible.
Really?
And I thought she was going to carry the show. But they're just using her for like sexual tension, basically. You know what I mean? Yeah, and you have a great actor like that, and you're just using her for like sexual tension the whole show.
I mean, didn't she say it's going to be a expletive explosion?
Yeah. It's going to be an explosion. So who knows? Oh God.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like, I mean, he is not a bad actor, but I do not respect the media training and the things that he said. I mean, it's just very divisive, and when you are representing a brand, when you are representing a character, you don't talk like that. Wiccan would have never said the words he said, and that's just facts. And so anyways, let's see. I'm having doubt on Nightwing and Robin being an animated movie. Why do you have doubt, Dragon? Why do you have doubt?
I think it's a good thing because there are a lot of movies that wouldn't have the ability to get made if they weren't going to include animated. And I love that they're including animated movies into the DCU because it opens up so much more to the type of content where you get. And like if they do something and it really works in animated and they want to, like, I used to work for the shoe company, for example, and this company has a small factory local to the office. So it's actually attached to the office. And what they would do is they would make, if they wanted to test a shoe and they didn't want to make a mass order overseas, they would make a couple hundred pairs in this local factory, put them on vans, drive them to places in the city, mail a couple maybe to LA or other test markets, and they would test it before making a mass order overseas to see if it sold well. I think that with this animated format, they could try out new things, see if the fans really engage with it and if it performs. And then if it does, they get to do it in live action. I think it's genius. And I just think that the animated movies being part of the DCU, I think that's a very layered strategy and I wouldn't overlook it. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. Dragon, hear me on this. The reason why James Gunn is doing this is because they had to scrap a darn near $100 million movie in Batgirl. You know what I'm saying? That movie was a movie with Michael Keaton in it, and they had to scrap it, and the reality is that it's cheaper doing, like, James Gunn can get a lot more projects done mixing both the live action and the animated stuff, going back and forth in tandem than just doing straight live action. Like, doing straight live action content is daunting and very costly. So I mean,
I think it's hilarious that someone watched Batgirl and was like, you know, have you seen the movie? Hold on, I'm gonna look up this movie right now. Jack and Jill, I think it's called.
That's what Adams.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Jack and Jill, and Adam Sandler plays himself and his twin sister that he gets annoyed by, but Al Pacino is in it. And in the movie, there's an Al Pacino ad for Dunkin' Donuts, and it's like really corny. And Al Pacino does this like dance, and it's like the Dunkachino, Al Pacino, and Al Pacino sees the ad, and he turns to the like Dunkin' Donuts exec, and he goes, "Burn that. Make sure no one ever sees it." And I just find it so funny that someone did that with the Batgirl movie.
Yeah,
They were like, and they deleted the movie. And listen, I know people get upset about it. Like, yeah, I get it's sad for the actors, but like, I'm not that actor. I think it was a good move by DC. And by the way, the other thing here is nobody, absolutely nobody cared about that movie until it was deleted. Okay. No one talked about it. No one was excited about it. And the only time it got buzz on social media was because people were offended that it was deleted. I call BS. And that's the thing. People wake up in the morning, they take a stick, they put it up their butt, and they look to get offended. I'm sorry, but no, that movie, no one was into it. It was not going to perform. And I think it was probably Zaslav because he's the man. And he was probably like, I think Zaslav was the one who was like, yeah, burn that. Why I'm not excited for Superman. I think Gunn and why I'm not excited for Superman. I think Gunn and Superman being a pretty big styles clash. It's not that I don't think Gunn is talented or that I don't enjoy some of his work. So I think that you're not alone in this perspective, but I don't think it's accurate. Like, I just think that yes, Superman is not the style of movie that we've seen from James Gunn, but I think James Gunn is brilliant. And I think that I just don't think that he is the kind of guy that's like typecasted to only be able to doing the, kind of humorous team up movie that he's done. I think he is capable of doing more than that. And I think you're going to see it with Superman. But he added, but I just think what he's typically known to do that works for other characters would be a disaster for a character with as much reverence and cultural importance as Superman. I like Seth MacFarlane. So yeah, listen, I think he's going to do a good job with Superman, and I think once he does, I think that the crowd that would join you on this perspective will give him that respect. But I could see why people think that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I don't get why people doubt James Gunn is that like the Guardians was nothing before he touched them. I mean, does the fact that he made the Guardians like mainstream heroes in the MCU, like, does that not lean your way at all? And yes, James Gunn didn't get to direct a Captain America film or a Iron Man film, which I think would have been fire if he did. Should you be comfortable that we are getting a guy that has done a movie in the superhero space? You know what I mean? That's just kind of where I just don't, see some of that's where I just don't understand some of the pushback, you know what I mean, to why people don't think that, because like no one said this about Nolan, when Nolan took when Nolan took Batman, like no one said that Nolan isn't talented enough. No one said Favreau is talented enough. No one said that, but no one said that when the Russos came from filming only comedy shows to filming one of probably the best MCU film of all time, So like, why is it like, how come, people are switching up the energy?
I think that a lot of people have that mentality that typecasts talent. And because those people with the mentality are more familiar with James Gunn than they were Favreau or Christopher Nolan before their superhero movies. but I think they're all going to be proven wrong because I think this movie is going to be like I think it's going to be really special, actually.
Yeah, and guys, I have to apologize because I was totally wrong. It is the dynamic duo is not freaking Damien and Dick Grayson. Sorry, it's Jason Todd. And I'm so
Oh,
sorry, guys. I meant
oh,
I totally was off on that. I'm sorry. Sorry, it is Jason Todd and freaking Dick Grayson. So please forgive me on that.
oh, that
Um,
changes everything.
yeah. So this is yeah. This
Damn,
is it. Yeah. Yeah.
it's a big detail, bro.
Yeah. So I am even rereading the caption about, the Robins. Like, is Dick Grayson still gonna be Robin at this point? Like, how would you feel if Dick Grayson is still Robin? If this is like a Robin and Robin story. Does this mean that he's trying to introduce Red Hood into the DCU, dude? Like,
I don't know.
it's a lot to think about, bro. Like,
I think
holy
we
crap.
should. Yeah, I think we need to just skip this topic and delete
Yeah.
that.
I am deleting this, guys, because I totally messed up super hard on this. So I'm just gonna chalk that for right now. We'll come back next week with more news. I totally dropped the ball. I don't know where that night winning stuff came up, but okay. We're gonna get to Absolute Batman because Absolute Batman dropped this week, and Jerry, you read it, I read it. Wow.
Oh,
So
you did read it.
I did read it, yeah.
Good.
Dude, I read it. So I got home last night. I read it last night, and I read it again when I got home before I took a nap.
I should have read it again because
Yeah.
I literally, oh man, it was like super late at night, and I kind of like woke up, and I was like, "Can I get Absolute Batman right now?" And I went on Amazon, and
What time were you up, bro?
I don't even want to say it publicly. It was bad. It was bad. I read it for like 30 minutes, went back to sleep, and down to Celsius in the morning as I always do. But yeah, it was late. I read it. I probably other than people that got it like in hand because they own a comic book store and were able to read it early, I was probably the first person to read that thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's get into it. So for those of you that don't know, Absolute Batman, alternate universe, completely different Batman. Think about everything you know about Batman, throw it out the window. We're getting into it right now. So Bruce Wayne's transformation. Bruce is unlike anything you've ever seen before, raised in trauma. He lacks wealth and privilege, makes him more relatable as a working class figure who built the city with his hands, both metaphorically and physically, meaning he's like an engineer, but he also did some work with his hands in terms of building the city. He is shown as a mountain of muscle, and it's a major contrast to the more refined, calculating versions of the character that we've already seen. And he actually physically dominates the page. I mean, he takes up so much space, and it reflects a Batman who uses brute strength rather than high-tech gadgets. This version of Batman, it's darker, it's more violent. The action scenes are extreme. Batman really uses his surroundings and custom gadgets like the bat ears and the battle axe that he takes off of his chest to take down his enemies. The action pushes boundaries of his moral code, really, with the no-kill rule, making him more unpredictable. Alfred is also completely different. He's a big figure. He kind of is like a secret agent. Not obviously, if he's not rich, Alfred isn't the butler anymore. But Alfred seems like he's going to have a pretty big role. Alfred comes out as like a secret agent who, in the beginning, is dispatched to Gotham to look into the rising violence caused by a new gang that we've never heard of before called the Party Animals. And Alfred is much darker than usual. sharing characteristics with Batman, kind of like a James Bond type character. And, this narrative choice allows us to experience Gotham and Batman from a more detached and observational perspective. The party animals are the primary antagonists of the first issue. They're chaotic. They're terrorizing Gotham. They're portrayed as this vicious and unpredictable, and they're committed to these senseless acts of violence that both Alfred and Batman, have them on their radar for. And the group, they do like random things. No one, they're really unpredictable, and it makes it really difficult for both Batman and Alfred to be calculative on. In terms of the Rogues Gallery, the main focus was on the party animals and Black Mask. There are teases of other Gotham villains, and Scott Snyder, the writer, hints that these iconic villains will play different roles in the alternate universe, which adds another layer of mystery for all of us. I would say that Gotham feels more alive and more dangerous, and it's really painted as this violent, lawless place. And Bruce, being like a worker rather than a billionaire, makes him more grounded with the city's everyday and it takes the tone to a more realistic, and it makes Batman a more realistic character. And I hate saying that because everyone's so gung-ho on like the realistic Batman movies, but this is different. And the psychological exploration, Snyder really dives into Bruce's trauma. It's really nuanced. The origin story remains rooted in loss, but it's treated with more depth, focusing on the psychological toll in trauma rather than just being motivated by revenge. Batman channels his pain in a more destructive way, making him a more flawed and complex character. If you haven't read it yet, you're missing out. Stevie, what do you think?
Okay, so, man, Alfred is the most surprising character for me personally. Because I mean, his military background has been talked about, and there's been some stories, but I never personally like dove into it. I love how Alfred's like still a soldier, you know what I mean? And also like the idea of Thomas Wayne being a teacher, like it's just also very cool.
Yeah.
And also like the cool thing is like how all of the villains were like childhood friends with like Oz and Selena and the Riddler, like they all grew up together. It's just, and like the Riddler is like involved in the community. You know what I mean? Like he's like, it's just very interesting. And also shout out to them for putting a Christian Easter egg in there with the Maronis. They basically like Scott basically did a nod to the Protestant Reformation. So shout out to Scott. Like that made me smile. And also like Batman having no wealth, like it just makes him more violent. And the way that he like descends down like a freaking demon from hell, it's just insanity. And then while that's happening, like Alfred is like proud, but he's also analyzing everything that he's doing. Some of the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, like, bro, the way that Alfred is like analyzing his fighting style step by step, he's like, yeah, like he was like, yo, like, all right, so you can fight Muay Thai, you're fighting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like he's naming the fight styles and saying, yeah, but like you like it. You're more of a striker. Like, bro, I was sitting like, yo, this is fire. So the way the writing is just pure. The writing is rich. This is some of the best comic book writing I've seen of the newest stuff that has come out. Scott Snyder, man, you need to be in that room for Batman, dog. You killed it.
Scott Snyder is the greatest Batman writer of all time. Like Scott Snyder is to DC what Jonathan Hickman is to Marvel.
Yeah.
And by the way, ironically, no, not ironically, Scott Snyder is writing Absolute Batman and Jonathan Hickman is writing Ultimate Spider-Man. And, I 100%, it's obvious that DC was inspired by the new Marvel Ultimate Universe, and DC is doing their own Absolute Universe. And like, they really hit the ball out of the park. Like, obviously, as much as they were inspired by Marvel, it still is completely DC's own thing. It doesn't feel like a knockoff. They did an amazing job with it. And what a time to be alive, guys. Like, I feel like we are right now living in the greatest time of comics of all time. And that's what it should be, because like innovation and like, writing and all that, it should get better with time. And if we're ever going backwards, that just means the talent isn't there. And yeah, this book was incredible. Alfred, I didn't really get into the show. Like, I just don't think it was that good, but they made this show called Pennyworth, and it was Alfred as a secret agent, and he was younger and he still lived in the UK. This reminded me of that version of Alfred a little bit.
Yeah, bro. It was that freaking, yeah. That was just wow. Wow. Yeah. But there's a lot of just story it's wild how, like one of the biggest things, like one of my biggest critiques to a lot of comics, definitely I was reading some of the, and you told me not to read it, which I don't know why I did. I was reading some of the new Spider-Man. I don't know why, but I was just checking it out just to see.
Which one? I like the new Spider-Man. What are you talking about?
I have to put up on my Marvel.
Oh, Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spectacular. Yeah. And one of the things that one of the things that I hated was, like, when I was reading it, it felt like they were trying to introduce a bunch of stuff to start side stories, but it didn't fit the story, if that makes sense. Like sometimes when you read comic books, they'll give you 20,000 different ideas, and you're like, okay, like, are you just trying to shoot me side stories, or are you trying to tell me the main story? And what Absolute Batman did is, like, they gave us like 20 different, like, it feels like they gave us like 20 different ideas, but it all fits within the story, and it makes you want to dig deep, because now I want to know, how the heck did Selena Kyle and Oz and all these people become childhood friends? You know what I mean? Like I'm generally interested in the background of how some of these things happen.
You need to watch Gotham, because Gotham has that. Like, all of them, it's all of them.
Third week you've talked about Gotham, bro. Maybe that is God, like, saying, bro, just watch the freaking show,
bro. It is. I don't know how you haven't. It's literally one of the greatest TV shows of all time. But I will say, what really bothered me about Spectacular Spider-Man is that the comic just wasn't good. And the writer, I'm going to name him because he deserves it, Greg Wiseman, like, you couldn't write a good story, and you were so focused on peddling your political agenda in every issue. And you did it like multiple times. And I only read the first 3. And it just, like, it bothers me when writers get a comic book title, especially one like Spectacular Spider-Man, and instead of writing a good story, they see it as their opportunity to push propaganda. I don't appreciate that.
And the wild part is that the art is fire. Like, the art's dope. Like, come on, dog. Like, you can't be fumbling like that, bro.
Yeah, and Humberto Ramos is the artist, and it's a shame, because the guy did a great job.
He killed it, bro.
Yeah, and he's got to work with this guy who just can't write a good story for crap, but he also can't help himself to not write propaganda. So it's just ridiculous.
Yep. All right, I want to answer this last. Did you answer this or no?
I need to see him direct Hamlet. No, I didn't.
Okay. Oh, but that doesn't mean I need to see him direct Hamlet right now. I'm not anticipating much for the crop of new DC movies. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it ends up good. Wow, man.
Yeah.
Are there really people that, like, genuinely feel this way, bro? Like, I'm shocked, bro.
Yeah, because normally when you hear someone say this, they're like a Snyder fan and they're like automatically biased. But this sounds like someone who's like actually thought about it and came to the conclusion that James Gunn isn't going to make a good Superman movie. And like, you know, I think you fairly came to that conclusion. I disagree with you, but I think you actually thought it through and came to that conclusion rather than just getting there from bias and never thinking about it. But I think there's a lot of typecast mentality, and I say it all the time. And I think that a lot of people, when they think about typecast, they limit it to actors and roles. But I think that James Gunn, as a director, I think your perspective, with all due respect, is typecasting him.
100%. I think it will prequel. I think it will be a prequel movie that takes place many, many years before Brave. Oh, you're talking about the Jason Todd and Dick Grayson. Oh yeah, it has to take place way up before. Would you, Jerry? Would you be shocked if Batman pops up in this Jason Todd and Dick Grayson film?
I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't think it's the right move. I think that if you're making this movie, like, take the opportunity to establish the characters, and you know, you don't want to share the spotlight with Batman, because once Batman's there, the spotlight's on him. Like,
yeah. Penguin, right? I mean, Penguin is a prime example.
Yeah.
But by the time Brave and Bold hits Dick and by the time Brave and the Bold hits, Dick Grayson is already Nightwing and Jason is Red Hood. That would be fire. That would be fire, man. Yo, a live action Red Hood, and not like the crap we saw on Titans, bro. Red Hood done right, bro. Let me tell you, that's going to feed families. All right, now we're going to get to some.
One more thing I want to say, because this is going to be a good clip.
Go ahead.
You know, everyone loves to say, "Oh, if you want a Batman that uses guns and kills, read The Punisher, watch The Punisher." You know who's a Batman who uses guns and kills?
Who?
Flashpoint Batman. Thomas Wayne. Boom.
Who is dope, by the way.
Yep.
Isn't talked about enough. Okay, now let's talk about some Spider-Man rumors. So, there was a little excerpt about Spider-Man 4 that I wanted to read. It says this: I hear Zendaya will return for Spider-Man 4. She will film from June until August and then move to film Dune 3, which we can't wait to see Dune 3. The movie will have a second female lead. It is very unclear who she is. They are casting a new group of classmates for Peter and 2 new bad guys. Also, Michael Keaton will be back as Vulture. So, Jerry, how does this news make you feel? And by the way, Tom Holland did put in his bio that big announcement coming tomorrow, which we all guess is going to be about Spider-Man 4, because you know there have been rumors about this movie going out the wazoo for the past month.
Watch it be Uncharted 2.
That would be so funny. Fans would be so pissed off, bro. Oh, he would get cooked online for that.
I don't like it. I don't like this news. I love Vulture as a villain. I think Vulture is a great villain, but Vulture isn't one of the more there are much bigger and more powerful Spider-Man villains. And I think that we have seen our Spider-Man go from being a rookie to being a more battle-tested, mature, being able to make the hard decision of not getting back with MJ and Ned and, you know, kind of taking the L and walking away from it. I think that Spider-Man is up for the challenge of a bigger villain. And I don't think we've never had MCU Spider-Man take on a big villain 1-to-1. And I also don't like Zendaya coming back, because he said bye to her. Like, that was a big part of the ending of No Way Home. And if you include her in the movie, you're going back on that. And no, don't give me the, what if he's not really with her and he's looking from afar? Like, I guess if he's looking from afar, like, maybe, but like, let's have Spider-Man move on with his life. Like, focus on a new woman in his life. I don't know. I don't like all the undoing of the end of No Way Home. I think it's stupid. I think it's a mistake, and I think it's a horrible, horrible move. And to me, it screams like creative failure.
Okay. So that was a lot. Sorry, I'm just processing what you said. So I don't necessarily think that they're undoing No Way Home. I mean, and I don't want to go on a limb and say like and give my own theories as fact, but because we just got to see how the details lay. But I hope I'm gonna say I hope, okay, because that's a better way to cloud it. I hope that if they do bring MJ back, that they don't just retcon the fact that she lost her
You
memory.
lost
And
her.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and I do think that it'll be a character development for Peter to not have MJ. I see why they would have her in the story because that is the love of his life. But I do like the idea of two new classmates coming alongside him, which I think is obviously one is probably going to be Harry Osborn, which it's about time that he's entered into the MCU, and that second classmate could maybe be Gwen Stacy. I'm not sure who that could possibly be, but I love the idea of two new characters coming beside Peter Parker in this new season of his life. We had Ned and MJ, and now it seems like we are getting a new group of people that he is going to be around. And with Michael Keaton coming back as Vulture, I kind of see this as like Batman type stuff, where like people are like just how bad guys are always breaking out of like Arkham. Vulture's going to be around. It's still kind of useless to have him because Vulture's story is over. He was just a Morbius. Like, why bring him back? Like, why? There's other Spider-Man villains that could be in this, even though he's probably not going to be the main guy. But I do and Den of Nerds has been talking about this a lot, and the rumor is that the movie is called King in Black, and that Null is going to be the main villain in this Spider-Man film. So Jerry, would you be excited to see Spider-Man go up against Null?
Yeah, like that would be a big villain for him to go up against 100%.
Yeah, that would be insane. Wow. Yeah. Spider-Man versus Null is going to be fun. Which is making a lot of and honestly, bro, this I wouldn't be shocked if tomorrow Tom Holland announces that is the name of the movie, mostly because Venom is coming out in like 2 weeks, and that's going to make people going to want to go see the film because Null is in it.
Oh,
and Null is being played by Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis is great. By the way, that she played Alfred and
Gollum. Yeah, he's a legend.
And didn't he play Caesar?
Yes, he plays Caesar, and he also played. He was also the dude in Black Panther. What's his name? He was
Caesar, by the way, from the new Planet of the Apes movies, not Caesar like Caesar salad Caesar.
Was it Claw? In Black and Avengers Age of Ultron and Black Panther.
Oh, what's his name?
Is it Claw? I forget his name. I can't think of it.
I'm tell you right now, he played Claw.
Yeah, Claw. He was freaking awesome.
Claw.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, Andy Serkis is a legend, and he's directing a Lord of the Rings movie as well as we speak. So Andy's a legend. Yo, Andy, he be putting that work, bro.
Yeah,
he be putting that work. I mean, yeah, he's played Gollum. He's played some really big characters. So shout out to Andy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. Like, I think that Null would be a really good villain for Spider-Man to go up against. And I texted you this the other day about I want Spider-Man and Avengers to be a powerhouse. I don't want to see Spider-Man. Oh, like I want to learn from you. I don't want him doing all that, bro. Like I need Spider-Man to be like his own dude.
Spider-Man in the MCU, Spider-Man is now battle tested. Okay, he is like. And that's why someone like Null or a big villain, we're not going back against Vulture, okay? Spider-Man won against Vulture when he was a rookie, So come on.
Yeah.
And,
yes.
I would love to see Gwen Stacy. I like the Gwen Stacy stories. Listen, if they wanted to keep Zendaya around, they shouldn't have done what they did in No Way Home, okay?
Yeah.
And, it's interesting because No Way Home's ending is inspired by the greatest Spider-Man run of all time, the ending of that run. And it was J. Michael Straczynski's Spider-Man run. It ended in the mid 2000s. And I say it's the best Spider-Man run of all time. A lot of people would say the ending of it is what was the worst thing to ever happen to Spider-Man, and Spider-Man comics never recovered from. Which you can make that case. That's in terms of Spider. I don't think it's that they haven't recovered. I just think that they haven't had a writer as good as J. Michael Straczynski. Anyway,
the ending.
So the ending was basically Aunt May was sick, and I forget what was going on with MJ. But long story short, Spider-Man makes a deal with Mephisto, and he makes the deal, and part of the deal was everyone would forget who he was, but Aunt May would recover, and he lost his relationship with MJ, and Aunt May did recover, and yeah, you know, he hasn't been with MJ since. Like, even in the reason MJ's got some new dude Paul she's with, and you know, a lot of fans are like, oh, well, he'll never be happy. Like, that was stupid, you know, because after they did it, it was called what was it called? Hold on. It was One More Day. And okay, so it was called One More Day, I think the ending was called. And then they started something called Brand New Day. And people hated the changes from Brand New Day. And it went on for a long time. But that was like 20 years ago. So people are still upset about it. I just think that my point was the comics never undid what they did in that story. And they still get heat for it. Okay. The MCU can't undo what they did in No Way Home, like whatever, 2 or 3 years ago. It would be stupid. It would be a bad move. If you didn't want to deal with the consequences of that decision, you shouldn't have made that decision. Like, you know?
Yes, it's not rocket science. I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not rocket science. And I agree. But I do like the idea of MJ still being around. And that's a vibe I get if she's only filming for a certain amount of time. It means that she's not having a big role in this. And maybe it's like Peter seeing MJ with another dude, which inspires him to move on, and you know, he finds a new chick, you know, like I do like the idea of MJ still being around, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because they're going to get back together eventually, you know what I mean?
I'm not so opposed to that, but the reason I think it's said it was a bad move out the gate was because for weeks now, it seems like every detail we learn about Spider-Man is undoing the ending. And I also include, and we disagreed over this, but I said that the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home seemed like to me that we were going to finally see the real comic accurate style of Peter Parker being in his New York element, being an everyday New Yorker in a crappy New York apartment, being poor, and like, you know, and now they're talking about Spider-Man on another planet. Like, that is not what the ending of No Way Home was alluding to.
Yeah. And maybe that was the vision that Watts had, you know, going into you know, because maybe Watts thought that he was going to do, you know what I mean, do it. And thank God Watts did not, because he did terrible with Spider-Man. But
he did terrible, but I think there were a couple things that were overlooked, and as a whole, that's a problem.
Exactly. It was just some things that that should be automatically thought of, and that's what I'm really excited for this Shang-Chi director to be doing Spider-Man, mostly because I need like better. Like, I really want to see Spider-Man's strength, you know, and like I really want to see Spider-Man like lighting it up, bro, and beating the crap out of people, and just being a strong powerhouse. And I think that the director of Shang-Chi, just seeing the way that he used Shang-Chi, I expect to get that same style of fighting and that same style of action, you know. I feel like all of the Spider-Man stories and the MCU have been great. I think the only thing that has lacked was action. So I am pretty hyped to see where Spider-Man is going to go. But one thing that I do need, because they're all, you know, because, you know, They also have been talking about the fact that what's it called? They also have been talking about the fact that that Reed and Peter are going to have some type of friendship as well. I just really don't want to. I really don't want Peter to be under someone's coattails again. Like for right now, I like if Tom Holland is going to be the lead in this, you make him the lead.
Yeah, and I like that. I also, are we going to talk about the Secret Wars rumor? Is that on the docket, or should we just
Is
blend
that
it
the
in?
RDJ thing you sent me?
No, it was. I'm going to text you right now.
Yeah, I'll add that after we talk about Sam and Avengers, because we do have Captain America Avengers news in here. But yeah, so when it comes to Spider-Man, we need to. Oh yes. Okay. So
I might have the wording wrong on the detail with the in between part. So
because I sent you that, right? I think I sent you that one.
I don't know where, because I'm trying to pull it up.
I remember it though because
Okay.
So basically a rumor came out about like 2 days ago, and I sent it over to Jay. And basically, the rumor was that Reed and Doctor Doom are obviously going to have a relationship, aka there is going to be a rivalry between them two. But Spider-Man and Reed's relationship is going to have an effect, or Spider-Man and Reed's relationship is going to play a part in the Doom and Reed beef. So like.
Interesting, something like that.
So, like, what does that make you think? Like, and there also was a second rumor that Spider-Man's role isn't going to be big in Secret Wars 2, because his role is going to be so big in Doomsday. So, how does that make you feel knowing that Spider-Man is going to be looming in this beef between Reed and Doom?
At first I was like, ugh, and then I thought about it, and I was like, actually, I like it because Spider-Man needs to be a star player in this Avengers cycle. He kind of was like an up and comer in the last cycle, and other than Reed, like the only other all the other characters are kind of like characters that grew into a bigger role or something of the sort, not like Spider-Man Reed Richards. So I like it. I think Spider-Man, it's very obvious that they want Spider-Man to be someone who drives the main MCU story forward, which is why we're not getting that New York Element Spider-Man movie. If you haven't read Secret Wars, it really is an in-depth character analysis on Reed and Doctor Doom. And that's why I was like, oh, well, Spider-Man's going to knock the equilibrium in that out of balance, But the other thing that's interesting, and I said before on the podcast today, is that Infinity War, also changed things up from the comics, and that worked really well. So I think that the Russo brothers know what they're doing. I think it's going to work, and having Spider-Man like a 2.5 to 3 hour movie, I just think that you're going to need more than just Reed and Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
And I think Spider-Man is like the perfect addition to it.
Do you know a rumor I heard?
What?
A rumor I heard was that, which I think would show how smart Doctor Doom is that Doctor Doom when Doctor Doom comes to the 616, he fakes his Tony.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Yeah, and so I've heard multiple rumors about this idea of like, Doom faking as Stark for a bit just to get his money and stuff like that, and then using some of the resources to kind of feed his master plan. Now, I'm not sure how that will work because I just don't have the
the reason it's so stupid.
hold on. Let me just finish this because I mean, if Spider-Man is in the rift, if Spider-Man plays a rift in between that relationship of Reed and Doom, there has to be some pull to where like Spider-Man has to see Doom. Like, what if it's like Spider-Man understands Doom's point of view, but he also understands Reed's? Do you think that that could ever be a possibility by any chance? Because like we all know that in Secret
No,
Wars,
no,
people obviously sway Doom's way, but I mean,
no, because
you
people
is
only
that even
swayed Doom's
possible?
way because Doom lied to them.
100%.
And if Spider-Man comes for Secret Wars, Spider-Man is MCU universe, MCU 616, whatever you want to call it. So we know that Reed is coming to that universe. So
1000%.
and that means that Spider-Man is going to be under the same perspective of Reed as Reed on Doom. You know, the only reason Doom was able to lie to people was because he didn't know those people and he completely faked everything. So if Spider-Man sees that Doctor Doom lied to everyone to, be the, leader of this battle world, I think that I just don't like. I don't think that works
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And
I just think that's something clever. Like kind of like how Penguin set up just Salvatore, right? Like I think something clever, or how you set up, um, Johnny, right? I just think something clever on Doom's part is going to happen, and I'm not saying that Spider Man is going to sway his way. I'm just spitballing ideas, trying to
yeah.
give context. But I think something like Doom has some plan that is
The
in
other thing I
motion.
don't like about what you said is that, like, so if Doom were to pretend that he's Tony, that would mean that he would acknowledge that he looks the same. I think that's stupid. I think that they need to do this where Doctor Doom is Doctor Doom. He's not Tony Stark. He doesn't realize that he looks like Tony Stark. That thing is just completely ignored. It's a non-issue, and we suspend our disbelief for uh, Thanos being able to snap half the population away. We should be able to suspend our disbelief that Doctor Doom looks like Tony Stark. And I just don't think that, I don't think Doctor Doom should have anything to do with Tony. I think they should completely avoid that. And, listen, I think Doctor Doom, in terms of Secret Wars, is going to pretend, that Reed Richards' family is his family, and he's going to convince Doctor Strange, to be his right hand. But I don't think, I do think that Reed and Peter are going to have a close relationship, and I don't see Doctor Doom being able to sway Peter in any way because Peter and Reed are smart. They're going to be on the same team. They're going to be coming from the same universe. And I just don't think that Doom is going to be able to sway Peter with the facade. It is going to be interesting, to add Spider-Man to the equation. But yeah, the Tony thing, I don't know. I keep seeing these theories and I just don't like any of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally have a hard time envisioning how Parker fits in all this personally.
Me
I
too.
yeah, there were just other characters that came to mind, when it would think about someone that would fit, fit in the situation. And
Yeah.
that's just what kind of has me thinking bro, what the heck?
Also, what if that rumor is about Miles Morales Spider-Man and not Peter? Now you have something interesting.
Yeah. Now you're cooking.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I think it's coming. I just think that this moment is it's so big, and the potential to get Miles into the MCU through Secret Wars, the comic accurate way. For those of you that don't know, that's how Miles Morales came into the mainline comics universe because he originated in an alternate universe, kind of like in the Spider-Verse. I think they are going to transfer Miles Morales from the Spider-Verse into the MCU in Secret Wars. And I know Stevie thinks that Sony's going to give them an issue. I think Kevin Feige is going to pull out all the stops to make it happen because I think Kevin Feige knows how big of a moment that would be and how successful it would be and how big it could be for the character in general.
Depending on what the Spider-Man news is, my opinion will change. If they do the King in Black and all thing, then I'm all in on. Then that just confirms that Sony's like doing it, like they're going all the way with the MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and by the way, guys, I'm not falling for the Andrew Garfield coming back stuff. Like, so don't even try to get me to talk about that on the show. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not.
I agree.
I'm not feeding into this. He's doing press for a movie, and all they do is ask him Spider-Man questions. What do you expect him to say? He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro. This Garfield stuff annoys me so much, bro. This happens every time he has a movie, bro.
I do think it would be smart for Sony to make like an alternate universe, like Elseworld Spider-Man.
1000%.
But I don't think that Andrew Garfield is doing it.
They should go Ben, though, dude. If they do that, bro, use Ben, bro. That'll be fire.
Who's Ben?
Ben, what's his name? Ben Riley or whatever his name is. Ben.
Oh, I thought you meant an actor. Yo, that would be.
That's what I want, dude. Yeah, like go whole different route. Give me Ben Riley, bro.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Oh, I would lose my mind, man.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, I love Ben Riley.
Dope. One of the dopest costumes of all time, also. By the way. That will be fire. I mean, because bro, there's so many different Spider-Man that you don't have to keep you don't have to have two different Peter Parkers, bro. Like you can use other different variations of Spider-Man. I would also love the idea of Spider-Man 2099 working with Doom or something like that. I mean, if we're looking at the Spider-Verse films, why is Spider-Man 2999 tripping? There's a deeper meaning to what he's doing. Like, I think there's a way to link, some of this stuff together. But yeah, Peter Parker being in this, it's hard for me to really understand. But I am really excited. I'm gonna save my Doom talk because we have a Doom topic coming on the docket. Okay, now I want to talk about Sam Wilson. Because there was a nice little scoop that dropped about him. So I want to talk about that. And then after that, we're going to get into some RDJ Dr. Doom stuff. So what we heard about Anthony Mackie says this: Anthony Mackie's Captain America will reportedly co-lead the Avengers and the MCU. And this is from the Cosmic Circus. So this kind of alluding to a thing that I thought of where. Hold on, Hungry Almighty. Let me read what you said because I didn't even get to your chats, bro. I'm so sorry. Oh, and you talked about Ben Riley. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I think you're talking about Uncle Ben, right? Yeah, I think you're talking about Uncle Ben. Never mind. Kind of like how in the new Ultimate Comic universe where Ben is alive. What do you think of the idea of Ben still being alive in the MCU? Because Marvel never really explained what happened to him. We just know he existed. I wouldn't honestly care, honestly. I'm so past the Uncle Ben. You took the words out of my mouth. A more comic Spidey after No Way Home. Introduce Harry. Introduce Harry. Maybe the MCU Gwen. Zendaya. MJ gets red hair. Facts. Give her red hair. Maybe more context to what happened to the MCU Ben. Extra Hungry Almighty. Why do you want to know what happened to Uncle Ben's so bad, bro? Like I feel like ever since we talked about Spider-Man 4, you haven't been the biggest fan of what they did with the whole May stuff. If Spider-Man is the main character, then why wouldn't Sony get like half the profit of the movie or something? Do you think 2099 Spider-Man movie in live action is possible, or do you think the whole futuristic world will not work in live action? And the reason why Sony doesn't get a large cut is because Marvel Studios do all of the legwork. They write the scripts, they do the action. So I mean, it is a Sony film, but Feige does Feige and his team, they do the legwork for all of those films. And that's why Sony was getting such a small cut at first, which is why they pulled Spider-Man, because they weren't happy with the cut that they got. And so, they negotiated for, something more. But like, if I'm doing all the work, like, I'm obviously going to get more. You know what I mean? That's just, it makes sense. I think a 2099 Spider-Man series would do better than a movie. I don't really think a Spider-Man 2099 movie would be that successful. That's just my opinion. How about you, bro?
Yeah, listen, I think it could work. I think a series would be better. I agree. But I don't know. I would love. I'm just so stuck on the Ben Reilly thing. Like,
yeah, that's what I want, dude.
The thing that's so interesting is that people are so polarized on the Clone Saga, but everyone agrees that Ben Reilly is a great character. And it's like, Marvel seems to be trying to do more and more with Ben Reilly, with Kane. They even have a Spider Society comic that came out recently. So, this is also why I love that the DC is doing the animated thing, because like there are all these like crazy Spider-Man stories that wouldn't work for an MCU movie, but like they could easily do them as animated and included in the MCU or whatever. And like, we'll never get them because they're just like, a Spider-Man movie in the MCU is only going to happen. The only Spider-Man movies that happen are the ones that fit into the MCU puzzle. They don't design the movie and then try to fit it in. They build the plot of where the story is going, and then they put the piece in. And that's why we're not going to have a New York Element Spider-Man movie. That's why we're not going to have a Ben Reilly MCU movie.
100%.
But if they did it as like a Disney, but we get things like Agatha. Okay. So I think everyone would rather have a Spider-Man 2099 Disney Plus MCU series than a show called Gagatha all along.
Exactly. And also, like, Spider-Man 2099 isn't as interesting as people gas him out to be. Like, Ben Reilly's way cooler.
100% agreed. Like, he looks cool. The comic was groundbreaking at the time. But like, Spider-Man 2099 got a big help from Miles Morales, because that's what made him really cool.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I think his look in the Spider-Verse films is what also gave him that jump, because he looked freaking dope. And I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, the oversized gauntlets,
bro. Chef's kiss, bro. Chef's kiss. All right, because Uncle Ben is equivalent to Bruce Wayne's parents, in my opinion, he's just important. That's why it's no different than how the Green Goblin is important Spider-Man. I mean, bro, I get it, but I think there's more important elements to Spider-Man that needs to be figured out than Uncle Ben, bro. But if Peter does talk about him, I wouldn't be against it. So I feel you, brother. Okay, now, real quick, let's talk about some Sam Wilson. So Anthony Mackie's Captain America will reportedly co-lead the Avengers in the MCU via the Cosmic Circus. And this is what I think Captain America Brave New World is alluding to, because I do think that the Brave New World, it has something to do with the Avengers coming back, right? And, and in the trailer, we saw that Thunderbolt Ross mentions to Sam that he wants the Avengers back. So the first question is, do you think that we are going to see some movements to the Avengers coming back in Brave New World? And number two, how do you see Sam Wilson's role as being the leader in the next two Avengers films? Like, where do you think he fits into all this?
So I love him being a leader. I feel like he kind of is in the new Avengers run that's going on right now from Jed McKay, which is kind of funny because they made like a big deal of making Captain Marvel the leader, but it feels like Sam's running the show.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're going to see movement in terms of the new Avengers team. I certainly hope so, but I could totally see them like saying, the clip that we saw, like, we need your help putting the Avengers back together, and then not seeing anything with the Avengers until Doomsday. And
Facts.
then they kind of like, uh, regroup in the beginning of the movie, and we see them reform the new team in like the first 30 minutes of the movie. And I kind of feel like that's more like the Marvel way. Like when they put things in movies that lead to the next movie, a lot of the times, and not always, but a lot of the times, they're like a 2-minute scene, like the 2-minute scene in Guardians of the Galaxy when they are with the Collector and they learn about the Infinity Stones, or the 2-minute scene, the 30-second scene with Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy and things like that. So I hope we see more with him putting the Avengers team together, but I feel like they can hint at it. Maybe we'll see more talk about it, and maybe we'll see him, meet with one or two other characters at most, which I still think that's probably off the table. I think that this is going to be a more contained. It seems like it's going to be a more contained movie. There's a lot of things going on in this movie, especially with Red Hulk. And I think it's going to feel more like a Captain America movie, like Winter Soldier, Civil War, more like Winter Soldier than Civil War.
Yeah. Because Civil War did allude to the greater view of things, right? So yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. And Civil War was groundbreaking for Marvel for a lot of reasons, but it was the first time we saw T'Challa, and it was also the first time we saw Peter Parker. So
that might be a top 5, bro.
Yeah,
that might be a top 3. Dog, that movie that movie might be top 3.
It is so good. I watched it a couple months ago, and I already want to watch it again. It is so good.
That freaking chase scene where, bro, like just like Bucky and Steve getting chased by T'Challa in a freaking runway, and they're running faster than the cars. Like you just can't make.
Yeah. When Steve pulls the helicopter down.
Yeah, he's flexing the bicep.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then the blade almost cuts his body in half, but he dodges it.
Bro, when I watch that with my Dolby Atmos, and like it's crazy because you see the blade coming at you and hear it. Like, bro, I swear to God, when I watched it recently,
or not scare you, but did it startle you?
I jumped. I literally was like, yeah. It felt like I was going to get hit in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one talks about that enough about that scene, because it's like, yo, he almost got cooked, bro.
Yeah.
And then Bucky grabs him through the window or whatever. Bro, or through the.
Yeah. And also, it was cool to see Tony fight out of the suit with just the blaster. Like, that was pretty badass.
Yeah. Exactly. And then, bro, that whole scene of just like Natasha fighting, then T'Challa's vibranium gets like control of his arm somehow. It's just the movie's just insane, bro. That movie is insanity. I remember when T'Challa was first announced, and everybody was like, "What? Like what?"
Yeah.
Oh, good times. Okay, now let's. Oh yeah, sorry. Real quick. Because so. How do you see Sam fitting into Avengers Doomsday?
I think that there's this Avengers cycle, the centerpiece is obviously Secret Wars. Secret Wars is unique because it's a major crossover event that, unlike Infinity War or Endgame, Infinity War really, because I'm talking about the comics, there really isn't like a major team up battle scene in the Secret Wars comic, in the 2015 one, which is the one that matters. And I do think that Marvel is going to take creative liberty, and I do think we're going to have multiple team up battle scenes with a grand version of that in the end of Secret Wars. Wars. And not every team up battle scene is going to be the same. Like, for example, in Infinity War, remember when Vision and Wanda are fighting the Black Order in the train station,
Yeah.
and Cap, Sam Wilson, and Natasha join them. And then there was also the scene later in Wakanda and Thor. So they're different team ups, different battles. And I do think that in Doomsday, there's probably going to be a threat to the country, to the planet. And while Reed and Peter will probably maybe be going after Doom, I kind of feel like we could see Sam and the rest of the Avengers dealing with containing the other side of the threat that Doom, maybe Doom bots or something like that. Because there's something that Doom is going to do that's going to put the planet at threat. And I could see Sam and the Avengers neutralizing the threat, and then Peter and Reed going after Doom.
Yeah. So kind of Sam like doing the earthwork, or like the groundwork type thing.
I don't want to say the groundwork, because I'm not saying it's like I'm not trying to minimize it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's like there's two different sides to the threat. There's there's the man, and then there's his plan. And I think they're going to be going after whatever his plan and whatever he's plotting to do, and then they're probably going to go after him. But it's going to be interesting because I don't know how it's going to play out, because the more I think about it, actually, I take that all back, because I realized something. I believe, I wish I didn't say any of that. So I believe that Doomsday is going to be a condensed version of Avengers Time Runs Out, Jonathan Hickman's run. Mm-hmm. So Jonathan Hickman's run, Time Runs Out, is all basically it's an Avengers run. And in this run, Tony forms the Illuminati behind Cap's back, and the Illuminati comes up with this: the incursions are coming. Incursion, two Earths collide. Either in an incursion, either both of them explode and die, or one survives and the other explodes and dies.
Yep.
So they came up with the antimatter injection system, and the antimatter injection system was a system to deploy so the other Earth would blow up before colliding to save the mainline 616 Earth. So I could see somehow, it's weird because we don't know like how they're going to shift with what Kang was doing and what Doom's going to be doing, because I don't think they're abandoning the incursion story. But I don't know how Doom is going to have something to do with the incursions, because Doom. So I think that the Avengers are going to be trying to figure out how to save Earth from an incursion.
Yeah.
But Doom isn't behind the incursions in Secret Wars. Doom just took advantage of the incursions to build his own planet and become king of the planet. Okay,
savage, bro.
Like
savage.
Yeah. That's what makes him so brilliant. He's like, I don't have to be behind. I just got to be the guy that wins.
Doom, I can't wait to see Doom, bro, in MCU. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
So that is a great intro to where Sam could play in. I like the idea of taking that Infinity War strategy where we got different teams. I like that a lot. And it makes sense. It makes sense for
because you don't listen. Like most we have 4 Avengers movies, and the thing about them is like most of them don't follow the same 5 or 6 of them throughout the whole 2+ hours or whatever it is. They kind of split up. Some of them are here, some of them are there, and I think that's only increased, and the roster has gotten bigger and bigger. And hopefully we won't see any silly Agatha characters, because I got to tell you, I hope they take all the characters from the stupid Agatha show, they put them on a planet, and that planet dies in an incursion. That's what they should do with the characters from Agatha. Okay.
Well, after this episode, bro, they're all gone.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So basically, Wiccan, at the end of the episode, so Agatha thought that he was her kid, Nicholas Scratch, who is an agent of Mephisto or whatever, and basically she found out that he's Wanda's boy, and he sent them all to like somewhere.
That I thought that Teen was Wanda's boy.
Yeah, Teen, yeah.
Okay.
But now it's official that he's Wiccan. You know what I mean? And so he basically sent Agatha to this dirt, and she sank in it. And now the episode. Anyways, so let's get. I ain't here to talk about that. Let's get the RDJ because they're good. Because when it comes to the Avengers, we need the A-listers. The only person we need from that is Wanda. Okay, that's the only person we need. Anyways, so let's talk about this. This is from Daniel RPK. It says for Avengers Doomsday, the main heroes will each film for about a month starting in March, while those with smaller roles will shoot for a week or two. Robert Downey Jr., though, will be on set the longest, filming for about 3 months. The entire production is expected to take about 5 months. So, Jerry, how do you feel about that? RDJ news.
I love it. Like if you look at Avengers screen times per character, the best characters always have the longest screen times, the most important ones. And I think that needs to be the case with Doctor Doom. And the fact that he's filming for 3 months and other characters are filming for like a couple weeks to a month, I think that is going to reflect in the screen times.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that, and I agree with everything you said. The fact that he's filming for this, bro, he's going to be working. RDJ gonna be putting in work, which I am pretty excited about. Which means we're going to get some set photos of the suit, maybe. Actually, I don't know because they've done a good job of hiding the Fantastic Four stuff. I mean, and I think some stuff that they want us to see, like the Thing, I feel like they really wanted us to see that, but they've hit a lot of Marvel has been way better with hiding stuff on set. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited to see RDJ back in filming. I mean, there's really nothing that you can say there. I mean, he's about to be putting in work, filming. I mean, the production is 5 months. He's filming 3 out of the 5, which means that he's going to be getting over an hour of screen time. Which when you have a guy like RDJ and you pay him the bag, he has to give you that work. So,
right.
Yeah, I think he's going to deliver a really good performance. So I'm hyped. Let's see. The entire Wakanda lore needs to die from an incursion and be rebooted with a new T'Challa. LOL. Get rid of everyone that was tied to the old Black Panther franchise. Bro, the cast ain't bad. They just don't got their guy.
Yeah.
Bro, Black Panther has one of the best supporting casts in a superhero film. I mean, bro, come on. Angela Bassett and the whole game. I mean, the cast was amazing. I mean, the issue is that T'Challa ain't there.
Yeah, and Letitia Wright was great, and she did as good of a job as she could in Wakanda Forever. What kills me is I always want to watch Wakanda Forever, and I never do it because it's just missing T'Challa. And like that movie should, I say it all the time, it should be such a good movie. And unfortunately, Marvel listened to I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it. Like, I don't think that the best decisions are driven by emotions. I just don't. And if you could think logically and reasonably and take emotion out of the equation, like, you're gonna make better decisions at things. They always say don't let your emotions cloud your judgment. And like, when you really think about it, like there was no good reason to not recast T'Challa. And I'm just like, every good reason to recast him is there. And it's just like, it's so crazy to me that like they actually went through with that movie and they recast T'Challa. Like, I'm still mind boggled that like
keep it in a stack, bro. They should have just tabled the whole film. They should have just I wouldn't if you don't want to bring back T'Challa or you're not in the right mindset to recast, just table the movie for right now.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
that would have been a better
I
movie.
would I would have rather the movie be pushed back to like this year. Like I would love if they're like, hey, we really want to honor this, so we are gonna do our thing. We're gonna recast, but we want that movie to come out like maybe like 2024. So then it gives them a time to figure it out and recast. Like they just move so fast right after his death, and it's like if you're going to go against the main character, just table the film.
Right.
That's the
And
how I
they
feel.
could have done like a special presentation, like tribute to Chadwick, and then like done the movie. Like you don't. There's so many ways to honor Chadwick and like still recast the child. I don't know. It's so crazy to me. And
Yeah.
when you look at all the characters that the MCU has lost, uh, and you realize like how important T'Challa like should be to the current MCU, and he's not there, like it's just insane.
Yeah, and T'Challa, and to be honest, like I don't even believe in using the multiverse. Just act like it's the same character because that's what a recast is.
Yeah,
You don't have to change. You don't have to add all these explanations. I think fans would have understood, bro.
that's also how I feel about Doctor Doom. By the way, like you don't need to be like, oh, you look like 20. Like it's the same actor, but it's a completely different character. And guess what?
Yeah.
Because it's a different character, you get to treat him as a different character. Because who doesn't exist in the MCU? Robert Downey Jr.
100%. 100%. So yeah. Hold on. So I was reading Hunger Minds. I remember there was a theory that Wakanda Forever takes place during the blip. That could have actually worked since T'Challa died in universe from Thanos, then recast later for Black Panther 3. It was that easy. That would have been very creative.
Yeah, that would be smart.
That's very creative. Hunger Almighty, who are you, bro? Under the mask. Who are you, man? Are you like Scott Snyder's son or something, dude? What you up to, man? Are you like Jonathan Hickman's son? Because you are here dropping gems.
Yeah, you just cooked.
So I want to end this with some Penguin 3 stuff. Jerry, how'd you like Penguin episode 3?
Oh, so good, man. I love the whole thing with Vic and like Oz. This show is so good. I can't wait for Sunday.
Yeah, dude. I love that we finally got to see Victor's girlfriend because we were like, who is this Gracie Ella chick? So I'm happy that we got to see her. Vic's finally getting money. Like that was kind of cool. But obviously the stuff with Vinny, man, with or Vidi with Vidi.
Oh yeah.
I hated him. Like Johnny Vidi was so annoying because like he's that dude where like he's not a part of the family, but he thinks he got all this clout. And Penguin is a crash out, bro.
Yeah.
Like when someone makes fun of him, bro, he really loses his mind. And the fact that Sophia like really didn't intervene, like I feel like Sophia liked that he lost himself in that moment. You know what I mean? How did you like Sophia Falcone in this episode?
She was great. I like that she's kind of becoming like more on board with Oz, and they're going to be collaborating. Like that's cool. What was interesting too is it was heartbreaking seeing him call his mom and I also felt bad when he like was almost disrespectful to his father, and that was kind of like the last he ever saw him. Like, you just know that's going to
Are you
eat
talking
him.
about Victor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, dude. The way it ended, where he's calling his parents and they just die in the flood, bro. It's jacked
That
up,
was
man.
so sad. I saw someone say online that like, oh, Riddler, he wanted to get back at all the rich people and they ended up killing all the impoverished people. Like, you know what? Like, social media is like destroyed people. Like, the Riddler is a villain, okay? And like, it's clear that some people identify with him because they're so like anti-capitalist and all this. It's like you're like sick in the head, okay? Like, you're not a villain isn't a good person because they are anti-rich. And like, I don't understand what the mentality is. Like, there really is this like eat the rich mentality that people have. It's really gross. I think it all stems from jealousy, which is bad, but whatever. Like the Riddler is a villain. He's not like, he doesn't like rich people, but he doesn't care about people anyway. Like he's not a good person.
Yeah, and if you guys actually watched the Batman, Riddler's beef wasn't the money. The Riddler's beef was the fact of what they were doing with it. That's the whole entire plot of the movie, is that they were in these secret societies and toying with the government, toying with the cops, toying with freaking judges, passing laws for them to build on something. That's why he was mad. It wasn't because of that they were rich, but it was
corruption.
Yes, it was the corruption and the influence that led him to do what he did.
Great.
But Jerry, this is what happens when you deal with people who don't watch the freaking content, bro. This is why, as much I didn't want to watch Superman and Lois, I did, and I darn near was horrified when Doomsday ripped out Superman's heart. I was like, what the frick is that?
Superman and Lois.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Do you think Superman's like dead? Do you think he's coming back?
No, he's not. He's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back.
Bro, that was...
I don't know what they're going to do with his heart. I mean,
bro, Lex Luthor is a savage. Yeah.
Well, when Doomsday pops up and just rolls him over, and she looks and sees that his heart isn't there, bro, that's wild that they put that in the TV show.
It is, bro. A lot of people say that this is the best version of Superman since Christopher Reeve. Think about it. Who's better?
Tyler Hoechlin might be the best Clark Kent I've ever seen.
He kills it. And like the show is so good. It's so entertaining.
But Smallville, man, Tom Welling, bro, he killed it too, though, dog.
I gotta watch Smallville. You know what kills me about Smallville is that
teen drama.
No, I don't care about that. I don't. Everyone says that the beginning is procedural, so like, I don't like that the plot. Like, I like shows where each episode builds on the plot. I don't like a show where there's like a different issue and each episode.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah,
that's kind of what Smallville is, right?
I mean, it's a bunch of different stories, but it all leads to one thing. I mean, it all leads to something, you know.
Okay.
But the issue is that, as much as Smallville is like one of my top 3 favorite shows of all time, the issue is that they knew when they needed to end it, but it was so popular that they just kept going. If that like there's a point where you end the story. Like, there's no way that Superman, before he becomes Clark Kent, fights Doomsday. Like, there's no way that happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they add that in there because the show's so popular. You know what I mean? Which, hey, I understand that, but
Gotham is so good because it's so. The thing about Gotham that's interesting is the real hero of Gotham isn't Bruce Wayne or Batman.
Yeah, it's what's the name, right?
Gordon.
Yeah.
So it's based on all the villains. You experience their origin, and as they're going through their origin and becoming bad, the cops are trying to contain it, and it's just so fast paced. Like, each episode has like 3 twists. It's so addicting. And there's like very few shows that are that ran for that long, that are that addicting, that are that have that level of intensity. I would say the only ones that exist that are on that level, and all 3 of them are 3 of my favorite shows of all time, are Gotham, 24, and Prison Break. But yeah, Gotham's incredible, like incredible. A lot of people also say that Joker is the best Joker of all time.
Yeah,
they don't call him Joker because of rights; they call him Jeremiah.
I'm trying to put this in the right words without sounding rude, because I'm not trying to trash Tyler Hoechlin. I'm not, but
you don't think he would hold up in a movie?
Tyler Hoechlin's Superman is loved because
the absence of good Superman.
Yeah, that's, you know what I mean? That's why he's so loved. You know, it isn't like Stephen Amell,
but he's not like the greatest Superman ever.
Stephen Amell as Arrow, it's going to be hard to top that. You know what I mean? Like just Charlie Cox is the freaking Daredevil will never be topped
Stephen
ever. Like,
Stephen Amell is a better
yeah,
actor than Tyler Hoechlin.
that's what I'm saying, and that's just where. And so that's why, like, I feel so weird about Tyler Hoechlin, and it's not even about looking the part because he looks fine, like he looks cool,
Yeah.
but it's just with Superman, bro. It's just a certain I hate this word, but it's a certain aura that you need to have.
Yeah.
When I look at Corey Sweat, he has that. I don't know what it is, but there's that. Like
Swagger.
Christopher Reeves has it. Henry Cavill has it. David Cornswell has it. Even Smallville Superman had it. It's this look of like you're the. This might sound crazy. It's like you. All right. Think about your favorite president, right? Whoever that is. You know how like when you think of your favorite president like ever, you're like they just look the part. It's the aura. It's the way they talk. It's the way they walk. It's the way they dress. It's just everything is in line. That's how I feel. That's what I think Tyler Hoechlin doesn't have. But because of the fact that the writing is good and they try to honor Superman the best way that they can, people say he's the best.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's the best at all by any means.
You know, I think he's good. I think the show is great. I think that you could say that he's the best Superman, but I just don't think the competition is there.
Yeah, it's the best Superman show for sure.
Yeah. He's just a character that they never really did justice with, which is crazy because it's Superman. And you know what else, by the way? Like, and this is going to be a controversial take, but I don't care because it's true. The best multiversal movie is The Flash. Like 100%.
Flash is awesome.
Bro, I'm actually going to watch it tonight. I rewatched it last week and I fell asleep like halfway through. And I was just like, I forgot how good it was. It is so good. So good. And I love that. Oh, I fell asleep before this part, but I can't wait to watch the scene where he gets struck by lightning in the cave. And, you know, the button, like that comic that I keep talking about, is so cool. And it's like an extension of Flashpoint. Oh my God, it is so incredible. You know, DC lore. And the other thing about the Flash movie is like, it's like a DC lore rich movie. And the only other like DC lore rich movies are Batman versus Superman and the Snyder Cut. Like that's it, you know, and whether the lore is accurate or not is irrelevant because there's nothing else. Like, and we're finally going to have that with the DCU. Like, you know, I can't wait till they announce Flash and Arrow and like all the other characters. Martian Manhunter, like, dude, give me those guys, man. Oh, you know,
I do have another reason why I think that Superman has such a small sample size too, bro. And and I should have said this to the guy that was in earlier. Z.
Oh, he's not in here anymore.
I don't think so. Because I'm pretty sure he would have definitely been commenting Avatar Superman. The one thing about Superman that a lot of people don't get, Donner, having with Snyder, a lot of these guys get bored with Superman, and you can tell in the content that they make. Like, for some odd reason, it seems like a lot of these guys that have Superman, they get bored with the character, and it feels like the progression isn't good, or they use the same story plot lines every single time with Superman. Like, we've gotten Doomsday 3 times now in Smallville and Superman Lois, and in in the freaking live action films. Yes, it is a important, you know, thing, but like no one has done All-Star Superman, you know, like no one has tried to touch these other, you know, Superman stories that are so regarded. And so that's also another reason why I think James Gunn is very qualified, because he reads the comics, number one, and because James Gunn is tapping into a well that has never been tapped into from Superman, that Snyder did not tap, that Donner did not tap. None of these guys tapped into these other Superman stories. And so, like, people can talk all they want, but at the end of the day, we've gotten relatively the same Superman story over and over and over again. And the fact that James Gunn is starting Superman with a brand new story, with brand new characters that we have seen on screen before, but we've never seen them on screen with Superman, that should make you a believer in what's happening. And like, so because like I am making a stand. My stand is that my stand is for comic accuracy, and my stand is for stories that have yet to be touched. And James Gunn is doing that in almost every single project that he's doing. That's why I believe in James Gunn.
Yeah, and like you said, he reads the comics. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, his whole Gods and Monsters slate, he referenced all the comics he was pulling from. You know, has Feige ever done that? And I'm not knocking Feige. I know he reads comics, but I don't think he reads comics the way James Gunn reads comics. Yeah. And it's nice to hear a slate where the comics are coming from. Like, I love when they tell us which comics are inspiring a movie or a show or whatever. And, you know, there are so many good Superman stories. Like, it is weird that we keep seeing the Doomsday thing play out. It's like enough Doomsday. And I like Doomsday. It's a cool story, but like, it's enough, you know.
Yeah.
I guess we've seen it twice now, you know, and it's the death of Superman and all that, and like
exactly, bro.
You know,
like there's just more to Superman than Darkseid and Doomsday, you know, and a lot of fans, you know, and I mean the animated Superman series, they tapped into more villains than just Darkseid and freaking Doomsday, bro.
Yeah. Like give us Brainiac. That's who I really want to see. Like
facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brainiac's dope, bro. Like, there's so many other villains. So, yeah, man, that's just why, you know, I believe in James Gunn. Like, he's tapping into wells that, you know, we have yet to experience. All right, after this chat, we're gonna wrap it up. I think Green Arrow and Black Canary should be in the first League movie based on what we already have so far. I go Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Barry, Green Lantern, Josh. Who's a MMH? I can't.
Martian Manhunter.
Sorry, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, Kendra, Arrow, and Canary. And my guess is that Terrific's probably going to be in the Watchtower running operations, which is fire. So I'm hyped for. I'm hyped to see him too, bro. Mr. Terrific is dope, bro.
Yeah, he needs justice because as much as I love the Arrow, they
destroyed him, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just corny. Like,
kill me, man.
I just meant he was corny. Like, I just thought his personality felt corny.
He was too nerdy. You know what I mean? But remember the cop dude, Ramirez? He was a savage, bro.
I don't remember.
So in Arrow, he took like 2 cops and the Mr. Terrific dude, and then they were like his new sidekicks. But the cop was a Spanish dude's name was like Ramirez or something, bro. He was a savage, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. It's in season like 6 or 7 because he basically recruits a brand new team.
Oh wow.
Like Arrow.
Oh, I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah, they were dope. That was fire, bro.
By the way, Arrow's like basement setup was so sick.
Oh yeah, bro. Yo, I need that green screen actually. Now that you talk about that. I gotta find an Arrow green screen, but all right, y'all. We are wrapping this up. We just charged 2 hours and 30 minutes to the game, so that should make up for the extra days missed on the pod. We love you guys though. Have a great day and peace out. Stay crispy.